Hello and welcome into the Detroit City Fieldhouse for tonight's PASL contest between your Detroit City FC and the visiting Louisville Triumph FC. I am Jarrett Mackey alongside David Dwahey. Dave, 2 games for Detroit City FC, 2 convincing victories. Might be a little bit different tonight. What are you expecting out of Danny Evans' side this evening?
I think it's going to be a much tougher contest. I think this team has traveled well. They've got full squad here, players on the field, players on the bench. They're a quality team, and we've got our work cut out for us. But really excited to see how the women will respond to having the weekend off last week, and I think it's everything to play for tonight. Both teams are going to be looking to get the W tonight.
Third game, third sellout crowd here at the Fieldhouse. Dave, we say this every single time we go live on the air. The energy in here tonight is just palpable, and it's great to see. Such
an awesome environment for the women to play in. I know, having spoken to some of the players and certainly the coaches, they really get up for it for the home game.
We are underway here. Bella Sabo gets us underway tonight, starting forward, plays back to Shannon McCarthy almost immediately there. A little bit of moment of hesitation there as Louisville have a chance to get on the ball early on. Good battle in the midfield between Amanda Britton. Eventually finds its way back to Shannon McCarthy. Some work to do nearly there for first-time starter Joan Sieja. Goes all the way back to Shriver, who has time to settle things down a little bit here in the first 20 seconds of the match. Plays it forward, looking for Sabo. Going to make its way over to Hannah Crum, and Hannah Crum has space to run now. Hannah Crum forced into the corner there, bounces off the glass. Bella Sabo has it in the area. Bella Sabo turns and shoots. Blocked away. Amanda Britton now back to Crum. Crum recycles play back out to the back line. It's Sieja there waiting for it, gives the ball away, and now Louisville have a chance to break forward and get out of their own half. A good turn there on the boards, well defended by Hannah Crum to win possession back for her side. And Crum plays it across, but a good save there by Louisville's starting goalkeeper. That's Elisa Francis in between the posts tonight for the visitors. Sieja now tried to find Sabo there, poked away at the last possible second, and Louisville have a chance to break forward here through Kayla Dickerman. Dickerman running into Detroit City FC's fourth of the pitch. McCarthy doing well to kind of get back. A foul is going to be called on. I think Hannah Crum left her leg in there just a little bit too late, and a free kick will come before a quick change from the visitors. Dave, in the first 2 games, we've kind of seen Detroit City FC able to dictate play for the entirety of the game. I think it's going to be a little bit different tonight with the quality that Louisville has in their squad.
Well said. I think right off the bat, you could see Louisville put a little pressure on us that maybe we weren't quite accustomed to. We had the ball along the back line, and they looked to really pressure those players right away. And although we responded well, I think you're seeing here Louisville's able to generate an attack that we're going to have to deal with all night.
Detroit City FC looking to get out of their own fourth here. It's going to be Shannon McCarthy that watch it go against the boards before it's being played in front. And Gabby Shriver nearly had her first work to do of the evening, but yet it is still in the possession of the visitors. Back out wide before cutting inside. We backed off the boards, and then Bella Sabo is going to be over to get to it. Plays it back to McCarthy, and she runs forward herself. Gets Sieja involved on the far side, bouncing it off the boards. A great touch by her. She has Crum, Britton, and Sabo up with her. A really good turn there out of danger for Joan Sieja. Going to play it back inside to Sabo. Sabo looks for Crum. It's going to bounce off the boards before falling to her feet. A shot comes in, and it's an early goal for Detroit City FC. Hannah Crum. That right there, Dave, that's a goal that only happens in arena soccer due to the boards.
Yeah, that was just really thoughtful from Hannah Crum, testing out that near post. She'd kind of thought about doing it a few plays earlier, you could tell. And that time, I think she saw the goalie cheating a little bit toward the middle and punished her for it. Great finish.
Really impressive there from Crum. It looked like she was going to play it back into the area, but elected to go for the left-footed strike. It found its way past Francis and net for the visitors. And Detroit City FC finds himself up 1-0 just after 2 minutes of play. And, for what we were talking about, it might be a different game this time. It's good to get an early goal on the board.
For sure. I think that takes a little bit of the pressure off. You could tell their nerves were set in a little bit. We weren't quite used to the kind of pressure that Louisville were bringing, and a goal always helps.
The visitors
calm the nerves
now
a bit.
Looking to find the equalizer. It's going to be an instant reply from the visitors.
Great strike.
And we mentioned the quality. We were talking about it the whole time. Detroit City FC's lead there lasting only about 14 seconds.
Yep, great response from Louisville. I was going to say before City scored, you could tell just the way they're changing. They've got a real indoor know-how. They're playing quick shifts. They're keeping fresh legs on the field, and that was quite a response.
You're not going to find too many more timely responses like that. Made its way past Shriver, and now Louisville on the ball yet again, looking to get a second one. Breaking down into Detroit City FC's fourth. It's going to be poked away at the last possible second. But Possession still retained by the visitors. Kayla Addison now has some space to run into. Plays it off the boards, and Kayla Addison's through on goal. Kayla Addison and cleared away at the last possible second and not followed up on, but a great chance for Detroit City FC right there. Being played forward now. It was a last-ditch interception by Hannah Alexis, and Kayla Addison now finds herself in space with her back to goal. A dangerous sight for Louisville. Played up and over, and we see this issue sometimes, and we'll see how Elisa deals with it there. A great job.
Well.
A great job.
Props to
Elisa Francis. I mean,
Elisa.
Every time a goalkeeper is kind of in that position here, we don't know how they're going to react, and we've seen kind of varied. And that was a good job.
Yeah, it's like a little puzzle, and she solved it.
It's a great way to put it.
Thanks.
Detroit City FC building out of the back now through Megan Miles, recently introduced. Kayla Addison yet again back to goal. We've seen how dangerous she can be in that position. Megan Miles going to have to do some covering on a fellow number 17. That time it's going to be Lindsay Robbins. But right back into the feet of Louisville FC, or Louisville Triumph FC. Strike comes in.
He'll make the adjustment.
Hard not to say Louisville City, if you know, USL Championship excitement. The first team reporting last week. Really exciting time around DCFC. A great ball back to Laman. Oh, I believe that's the new player.
That's Fatima Nasser.
A ball's going to come in, and that one's going to go off the crossbar. Fatima Nasser involved for the first time, a new addition to the roster this week.
Yep.
Cut across by Katie Coleman. Katie Coleman tabs a shot, and
Good
that's going to be saved at the last possible second by Francis.
Yep, really excited to see the impact that number 91, Fatima Nasser, is going to make. I had the opportunity to train with the women last weekend and was really impressed with her play. She's got great quality on the ball, a very experienced player, had a great career at University of Miami, and just going to be a great creative spark for this team.
Going to be a foul there, and we see a new little blow-up guy to the right of that Singh Innovations board. Looks like he's got a sickle in his hand and some red eyes and a skull in his left arm. So that's, I mean, we talk about the fans being out. I mean, why else wouldn't you come to the Fieldhouse for that guy right there?
Yeah, like your description is ominous, and yet you see him, and he seems...
He looks friendly.
He's friendly, yeah.
And if that doesn't strike fear into the opposition, I don't know what will.
Right.
A ball across, really good job by Shriver to get down quickly and make the save. And Shriver, no stranger to going forward herself. We saw her get an assist last week against Zoo City, and a great ball over the top there, trying to find Amanda Britton on the chase. Instead, it's going to fall back to Amanda Britton after it wasn't really cleared well by Sarah Naismith. Crum now running into space. Hannah Crum, the right-footed effort, looking for her second, and that was about as good as hit. You'll see another one comes in and deflected away at the last possible second. But back to Crum. Crum lays it off for Sabo. Sabo with the right-footed effort. Blocked away back to the feet of McCarthy. McCarthy assessing her options before electing to slow things down just a little bit. Sabo now a great collect and turn right there by Bella Sabo. Sabo comes in, lays it off for Crum. Crum trying to create space for the shot. Still has possession now, but just loses out. It's going to be Robbins breaking forward for Louisville Triumph before it goes back to Naismith, who plays it back into Robbins before cut out by Amanda Britton. A great job there playing that one off the boards.
Yeah, that was a great little piece of play from City. Some nice combination in the offensive fourth.
And that one's going to go to ground. And the referees going to say that was all ball. Quickly back to the feet goes Hannah Crum.
He had a better view of it than we did.
We're a little bit biased, too.
Yeah.
Going to come out wide, go off the boards. A great interception there, but it might put off the Detroit City FC back line, but eventually into the hands of Shriver. And right away, Dave, we can tell that this game's a little bit different than the first two we've seen so far this season.
Yeah, for sure. Much tighter. You can tell both teams. I feel like, with respect to the previous two opponents, City were on the front foot right away, both games, and tonight I think Louisville are kind of giving as well as they're getting, and you can just tell they're going to be capable of making this a really close game. And, for the viewers and for us, we want that, right? We want it to be competitive, and so far the first 7 minutes has been super competitive. Both sides getting on the board early. We're in for a great one tonight, folks. For sure. The quality on the field is recognizable, and you can tell both teams have dangerous players and a style of play where they're looking to get it into those players early. We're getting good forward passes into Kayla Addison and Bella Sabo, and they're looking to do the same thing.
And just, the way you have to play arena soccer, you might have better players, but another team might have better arena players, and that definitely is a factor in every game here at the Detroit City Fieldhouse.
Most definitely.
All the way back to the goalkeeper here. It's going to be Francis, who plays it out wide to the feet of Yenny. Yenny's going to assess her options. Not really be impressed. Detroit City FC doing a little bit of a change there. A really good turnover there. Tatiana Mason was quick to it, but just gives it away at the last possible second. Was looking up for Sabo. And now the visitors are breaking forward. into Detroit City FC's fourth. They're going to say that was clean. I thought that was going to be clean. The referee's going to give the free kick. I believe that was Sija. Last possible second, a first-time starter this evening for Sija. Now Claire Cerlino makes her way onto the pitch for the first time. You know, another thing, you know, being used to playing off the boards, but also the line changes too. You know, the sharpness of those can make the difference in some occasions.
For sure, and I noticed right away in this game, 30 seconds in, after a defensive stand, the Louisville players changed, a full line change, and you can tell that that's something they're going to be doing all night. Like I said before the game, they brought a full accompaniment of players, and they're going to look to keep
Kayla
people
Addison using her strength to get beyond the defender. Kayla Addison tried to cut into the box, unable to do so. Tried to find Siege just a little bit off-footed there. Didn't really see that one coming, and now the visitors have a chance, but it goes all the way back to Gabby Shriver, who's going to assess her options up the field before playing it to Siege out wide. And that one's going to go all the way through, but it looks like Nasser's going to get onto it. Fatima Nasser's going to play it forward to Katie Coleman. Katie Coleman!
Great save.
A great save by Francis. She's been called into action a couple times tonight and has done a great job on every occasion. Nasser does well to win it back. An instant impact for her so far, really battling along the boards and in the midfield, and a great job to beat her defender there. Thrown up against the boards there, and that's physical play. Referee's going to call it, and I think going to give it to Detroit City FC. He did a little bit of an elbow motion there. I believe we all saw that one.
Yep.
And that was against Allison Ranieri. And it's going to be a free kick for Detroit City FC.
Some good work in tight space from Fatima Nasser, creating a little bit of a lane for herself and forcing them to foul.
Part of me was a little bit worried that the people that have their beers and their Gatorades on the wall there might have it knocked off, but it's going to fall to Joan Sija now before going back to Nasser. Nasser plays it to Cerlino. Kayla Addison nearly got a flick on in there. Wow.
It's been a great game.
Catch your breath.
Exciting soccer on both ends. A lot of almost. It's only 1-1, but I feel like there have been plenty of chances already for both teams. But City in particular seem to have created some really good scoring chances.
And they're chances that you would maybe expect to more see on an outdoor field. I feel like they've kind of just been like through there's playing good soccer and, you know, trying to work the channels and stuff like that.
Yep.
And, you know, it's worked out, right? An early goal for them. And they look to get back in the lead here. It's going to go all the way back to Shriver before played along the glass beautifully. A little bit of a miscommunication there. Nasser wasn't really too sure where to press, but doing well to stay in front of her attacker. Being played back, and she just gets pushed to the ground there, but gets right back up. Played across into some space, and I think they would want that one back as she was wide open after setting that pick. More physical game tonight than we've seen in the first two occasions for Detroit City FC. And that one's going to make its way through to Kayla Addison. A great job to get past her defender as Megan Miles up with her. Megan Miles, right-footed effort saved by Francis. Going to come all the way back out to the second zone. Katie Coleman's going to play it forward to Kayla Addison. Kayla Addison with the shot. It's going to be followed up by Nasser. Thought about the shot. Elects to play it in. Another shot coming in. Back to Nasser. Has some time to think about it. Had a man on there.
Some nice unselfish play from Kayla Addison there, finding the extra pass to Megan Miles. That's what you want from your target forward. An eye for goal, but the ability to recognize when someone's in a better position. And
really exciting time at the Fieldhouse. I see the entire men's first team around here. It's kind of hard not to get a little starstruck, you know, some of the stars in the house tonight.
Yep.
Mia Romeo doing really well to get to this ball. The speed to get past her defender and stay with it. The strength as well, but just bodied off of it just a little bit. It's going to stay with Detroit City FC. A great interplay there. Amanda Britton has the shot, but back to Romeo. Romeo leaves it for Crum. Crum's going to take a right-footed effort. It's going to sail and hit the glass. A great touch there by Britton to retain possession. Megan Miles has a little bit to chase. Miles resetting play. Has Britton up with her. Has Sabo in the middle. Gets to Sabo. Sabo's going to take a second there before playing it up to Crum. Crum's going to do well to win the physical battle to retain possession. Nice. Crum gets past her defender. And
well done by Hannah
Crum.
Yeah,
we saw and honestly, at that point, well done by the defender, too, because you knew that she was going to beat you there, and then you had to kind of bring her down to stay in that one. And we'll see a timeout here. And it just kind of gives us a second to catch our breath, Dave. What have we seen so far in these first 11 minutes?
We've seen some great soccer end-to-end. I think we've seen City raise their game to the level that the opponent is bringing out of them. You know, I think great teams play especially well when they're being tested, and that's exactly what you're seeing here. And you're seeing a Louisville team that's making this tricky. It's 1-1. They got to be pretty pleased with where they are right now, especially having gone down a goal. It's just been a very exciting and even match.
Even match for sure, reflected in the score line. It started off kind of at breakneck speed with Detroit City FC scoring the opener, and then, you know, an instant reply from the visitors who have driven up here. Great crest they have, Louisville Triumph's crest. It really encapsulates a lot of that city, the bridge for sure.
Yep.
Triumph is a fun team name.
Very fun.
Happy with that.
I enjoy it. And, you know, the fact that they've brought a full squad, they travel well. They're clearly taking this very seriously. They got a great commitment from their players. You and I were privy to an email from their head coach giving us a little background on the club, and they have a really cool mission and a really cool ethos. In many ways matches that of Detroit City FC. Really neat to be kind of in it with them, so to speak, in this league. And people that know arena soccer, you know, two of the founders played for the Cincinnati Sirens as recently as, you know, last year, and so they know the league. They're also new to the PASL this season, but not new to arena soccer, a lot of the people involved with that club. So really cool to see them travel with so many players, and what an atmosphere they're treated to, and they're kind of hoping to silence the atmosphere a little bit while enjoying it at the same time. For sure. So Hannah Crum now getting ready. You can kind of see it in the shot there. See Danny Dicchio hanging out, seeing Dom Gasso, Chris Stanton. I believe that's Connor Rutz a little bit in the frame. We could go all the way up. A little further up the stairs, you'll see us.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be fun.
And not to say Kyle Clayton's doing a great job in that center camera,
really
of course, as usual.
As usual. Typical great performance from, that's another foul. Hannah Crum is drawing fouls tonight. She's really kind of figured out where the dangerous areas are, and I think she's immediately kind of dubbed herself a threat, and the other team is responding accordingly. And we're seeing physical play, but so far it's physical play that's been within the rules, so to say. Yes, there's been fouls, but no blue cards coming out yet, and I don't think anything malicious as of yet, but stuff that, you know, tactical fouls, stuff like that to kind of keep things. And I thought right there Hannah Crum was going to draw another foul, but does so well to retain possession for her side. Yeah, no, good, hard, clean soccer, and sometimes fouls happen when you're doing that, but yeah, no malice, and it's been a really pleasant game to watch just in terms of the effort and the energy, and yeah, it was a good tackle right there. Couple occasions, you know, Detroit City FC definitely trying to sell it a little bit, and that's part of the game, right? Yep. People hate when I say this, but I'm a huge fan of gamesmanship. I really am. You know, keepers wasting time, love it, right? Like winning free kicks, love it. It's all part of the game. Helping your team, it's all trying to gain every little advantage. And now, if it happens against Tottenham, then I hate it. It's the worst thing that we should outlaw from the sport. This is an outrage. It's crazy that they let them do that. Shannon McCarthy now on the ball with some time. Hannah Crum's running over to it, a little 10-on-10 battle right there. It's going to be won that time by Louisville Triumphs, number 10, who now break forward now and have some space on the far side. Shannon McCarthy over on defense duty, doing well to stay with her attacker. It's going to be eventually cleared away. It was a great recovery run from Lemma Anale. She just sprinted after that ball landed with the Louisville player, got to the far post, ended up clearing that. Just great effort from the city players defensively, as we've grown accustomed to. Kayla Dickerman, number 6, is an original founder. Those are the best. I love that. Amanda Britton's a specialist. She can turn a sliding tackle into a through ball with consistency. Good ball there. Oh, great ball there by Katie Coleman. Gets Kayla Addison into the mix. Kayla Addison's a right-footed effort, and Francis makes a fantastic save. I thought we'd see another occasion there of the ball getting stuck in the netting, but yet again falls through. And folks, if you've seen a game, that's what Kayla Addison does. She's the best at it. Out of nowhere, can make something out of nothing. A great ball into her, great turn, great strike. And the goalie was up to the challenge. If the score bug wasn't there, you'd be able to see everybody. And that one's going to come in. Oh, that's a well-taken corner. Joan Seja, first start for Detroit City FC this evening. First goal for her. It is 2-1 Detroit City FC. We talk about it. It's sort of a niche cliche when it comes to, you know, you work on that one on the training ground. Yep. That one comes from a great strike from Kayla Addison that wins the corner, and then a perfect setup there for Joan Seja to put Detroit City FC ahead 2-1. Yep, Tatiana Mason on that ball, looking for her options, making a good, quick decision. Great ball into Joni, and a great finish. Great first-time finish. Louisville now, will they be able to replicate the first half? The first quarter, equalizer. Detroit City FC looking to make sure that doesn't happen. Seja goes to ground, the goal scorer. Tried to keep it within her feet, but eventually falls to the visitors, who are assessing their options downfield. A little bit of time on the ball now in the midfield. Tatiana Mason's going to come out to press. Claire Serlino now is going to be up to the challenge. And nearly again, we saw it right there. Just go down the field and just take a shot at Shriver that hopefully,
you know, from their perspective, she doesn't get to, but that occasion she did. It'll be a corner for the visitors.
Nice little fingertip save. They earn a quarter of their own. City's got to be careful here. These are dangerous situations.
Is it called a corner in arena soccer?
I'm so glad you asked. I would think yes, and I've been meaning to do this for a few games now. There's a good friend of mine. Our sons play soccer together, and we have a little tradition when they earn a corner. His name's Matthew Naimi. I'm going to cite him right now. He likes to say in kind of this fun way, corner.
Okay.
And I was hoping I could maybe do that when we earn one, or when the
Well, you
other
just
team
did
does.
it, yeah.
I just did it.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It
rolls off the tongue.
I'm just glad to hear it's called a corner because if
Yeah.
you look at, you know, folks at home, like it's all rounded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I didn't know
It's
if there
tough,
was.
yeah.
Yeah. But then you can't call it like a dot because there's dots.
Right.
You can't really. Yeah.
No, I think we should go with corner.
Okay. Well, if we didn't, that kid would be disappointed.
Right.
'Cause
And
then
I've kind of promised that I was going to do this, so I'm excited to have the opportunity now. And I
Well-
didn't think it was going to come up, but
Well, thank God
just-
it did.
yeah, seriously, I mean,
that's awesome.
talk about a dream come true.
Louisville now looking for the equalizer to make it 2-2. Definitely a tighter game on this occasion. Nearly done with the first quarter. Detroit City FC sitting pretty with a 2-1 lead. And they've really created the bulk of the chances. I think Louisville have looked dangerous on the break at times, but Detroit City FC have carved Louisville at times and just unable to get the final touch. And Francis in goal for Louisville has been excellent.
Yep. Yeah, I think if you're looking at like that expected
A
goals.
great ball.
great
Mia
ball.
Romeo is going to let it bounce off of the boards. Mia Romeo with her back to goal, trying to get other players involved. Looks like Nasser's going to run up to it. The referee nearly in the way there. Nasser, great feet from her to keep it alive down the board. Nasser is going to spin into some space. Gets
Wow.
it back, and Nasser forces a great save out of Francis.
What an
Mia
individual
Romeo is going to take the ball back and kind of keep things going for her side. A little bit of a wayward pass there back to Britton.
Really nice individual effort from Fatima Nasser, just creating space for herself.
Ball over the top,
Putting
trying
the
to
other
find
team on
Sabo.
skates.
A great job there by Nasser to retain possession against the boards against two other players. The referees are going to say that Megan Miles kind of left a leg in there just a little bit too late. Just 15.6 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Good tactical foul.
Take that. Let's take that into the quarter.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to keep that lead at all costs at this point.
Another packed house at the Detroit City Fieldhouse. A great crowd on hand this evening.
Awesome environment.
A lot of people up against the boards. Ball's going to be played up, and Shriver was kind of off of her line a little bit. Great composure there from Romeo to keep her side in that one.
There's enough time to score here.
Sure, Detroit City FC is thinking that as well. Time is running out, though. Just 2 seconds left, and this one's going to go into the quarter. Detroit City FC ahead by a 2-1 scoreline here through 15 minutes of play.
Great first quarter.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for the second quarter of action here from the Detroit City Fieldhouse. We are back here at the Detroit City Fieldhouse in the first intermission. We mentioned it a little bit in that first quarter. Get a shot here at the Detroit City FC men's first team. Dave, this is great to see. The guys back in town ready for another season in the USL Championship.
For sure. Super excited for them. I met most of the new players. Great additions to the team, and then an awesome core of returning players. They're excited to be underway with their preseason, and we're excited to watch them in a couple months.
You say a couple months. I believe the current count is 42 days. Plus or minus 1 or 2 there. We're getting close to the season.
Yeah, it's probably a month plus, right? Can't even say months. That's good news.
Played in a 4-0 win over a scrimmage against Inter Detroit at Wayne State this morning. A great showing. Kind of first time the ball's been on the turf for them in a game setting. So great to see as we're back underway at the Detroit City Fieldhouse. DCFC looking to hold on to a 2-1 lead against the visiting Louisville Triumph.
See how the Louisville come out of this. A break is sometimes a nice
great save there by Gabby Shriver. Put her hand up, made herself big, and that'll be a corner for the visitors. You kind of talk about how important it is to come out and get an early goal, especially out of a break like that. A great job by Detroit City FC to stay ahead here.
Yeah, that was a really nice chance right away. You can tell Louisville's trying to cut into that lead and equalize, and they mean business.
Claire Serlino is going to play it forward. A great ball
what
in.
A pass.
Detroit City FC kind of find themselves in here across the space. Kayla Addison was kind of being a fox in the box right there, waiting for her moment to strike, and instead it's going to go the way of the visitors.
Great effort. Great crossing ball from Katie Coleman. Really a
great run.
Yeah. There was all sorts of good. Just didn't quite connect, but great effort from Louisville.
A good ball through here for Louisville. Gabby Shriver's going to be called in, but her best friend on that occasion was that left, I want to say post, more of a wall on that occasion, but nonetheless, Gabby Shriver's best friend on this occasion.
Yeah. She had things cut off well. I mean, the Louisville player was forced to go wide there and made that one interesting.
Lamanali now on the pitch, going to be headed away by Kayla Addison. We talk about her strength in front of goal and her finishing and the strength that she possesses, but another strength there is game IQ, and a great job from her to get that one out of danger.
Yep, to recognize that she was needed defensively. That's some great stuff from your target player coming back to help you out.
Line change from Detroit City FC. He's going to see 4 new players enter the pitch. Lamanali's kind of looking around like, who are you guys? Just kind of a whole squad change from under her nose. Sabo now back onto the pitch. Megan Miles out wide, and Tatiana Mason even wider. Ball's going to be played forward to Sabo. Sabo, of course, 2 goals in the last outing against Zoo City FC. Detroit City FC coming out victorious 11-2 on that occasion. Can't ask for much more from your squad, an 11-2 victory.
Good pressure from City there. Tatiana Mason realizing an opportunity to double team.
Tatiana Mason's going to have a shot. Another great save by Francis. And every time she's been called upon, to kind of keep things close, it's been her to answer the call.
Yeah, she's done well.
Megan Miles now assessing her options, going forward, has 2 players on her, likes to play it into some space. It's going to be Tatiana Mason who's looking to turn. Tatiana Mason lays it off for Miles. Miles, a right-footed effort, comes in. Another save by Francis.
Great strike from Megan Miles.
And a great save, too.
Yep.
It's been great.
Keeper was up to the task.
And we've kind of mentioned this in both games. I think even in the Zoo City game and against Great Lakes FC, the keepers have kind of been able to prove themselves as super important for these visiting teams, and we're seeing another case of that tonight.
Yep. Yeah, well said. I think it's very similar to hockey. I think you get a hot goalie, they're keeping you in the game, and it can really make an impact.
Shriver all the way back to her. Shriver's going to blast it forward into some space. It's going to be Sabo taking a touch off the wall and then having numbers up with her. I believe that's Sija, actually. Joan Sija's going to play in Tatiana Mason. Mason's going to let it run wide. Has McCarthy back with her. McCarthy hesitates before playing it into some space. Tried to pick out Sija again, I believe, just unable to connect on that occasion. Nasser's back onto the pitch, number 91 now. Shriver's going to be off her line. She's got to be composed here. There's no doubt in my mind. I was just letting folks know at home that she had to be.
We had a great vantage point here on what Gabby Shriver just did, and the way she read that ball over the top, did not hesitate, recognized if she got a jump on it, that forward wasn't going to beat her to it, and saved her back line a ton of work recovering and just, instant defense to offense with the ball she played forward.
I believe we have our first blue card of the evening as Louisville looks to be down a player. I believe, she's being told to head over to the little space in between,
Now, was that an accumulation of foul situation, or I didn't see anything too bad on that one?
To be honest with you folks at home, it's hard for us to see up here what goes on anywhere past the midfield.
Yeah.
So, you know,
we're guessing
we're all guessing together. But we do know that Detroit City FC is up a player here for the next couple of minutes.
Yep.
Try to take advantage of there by Nasser. It's going to go to ground, and we're going to see a foul called against Kayla Addison. Referee's pointing just to make sure.
Yep. And we're able to tell that just by counting.
Yeah.
You can see that at this point there's a numerical advantage for City.
As a journalism major, counting's not really my strong suit. Anything with math, numbers kind of gets in my way a little bit, but
Don't
regardless.
sell yourself short,
I
Mackie.
know.
You've made some astute mathematical observations in recent games, and I know that it's a hidden strength of yours.
I mean, it used to be Khan Academy. For all the former high school math students out there, Khan Academy, check it out. Hannah Crum's gonna.
That's another foul.
Yeah.
Well done. Hannah Crum is really having her way on the dribble tonight. She's been very dynamic. She's gotten fouled 3 or 4 times because she's created a little lane for herself. She's making her presence felt.
And it looks like she kind of takes pride in being fouled. Every time she gets up, you can tell that she wanted to win the foul and does really well to do so.
Yeah.
Played across in there, just got out the last possible second before it made its way to Addison. Going to come back to Romeo as the lone defender right now in the back line. A touch inside from Serlino is going to go back to Romeo. Back out wide to Britton.
To your point, Mackie, I think there is something psychological about that as a player. If you're getting fouled a lot, it means you're causing the other team problems. And I think, for a player like Hannah, she dusts herself off, but I'm guessing she's building confidence with each time she's getting in behind the Louisville player.
Mia Romeo's going to have to run over to create some space. You kind of look at I'll use Jack Grealish as an example. You look at the most fouled players in the Premier League, it's usually always the best players, the most technical players, the most dribbly players, and they're getting fouled because defenders really just don't know how to handle what they're doing on the pitch.
Yeah, they put them in situations where there's little alternative.
A good job back here. Mia Romeo is going to pressure the back line just a little bit. Amanda Britton's going to get over to it. A physical battle engaged in there, but Amanda Britton nearly came out on top before a final poke out away back to the feet of Romeo.
Well done, Mia.
Serlino has a lot of space on this left-hand side, our left.
They're going to break here, I think.
Far side for the
good
viewers at home. Unable to get this gate working here. Nearly still
it's another foul.
A player up, and it was Serlino that time. I saw 1. I didn't see what the second number was, but it was a 1. So Serlino fouled on that occasion. A fun one so far.
Super
and we
fun.
see, you want to talk about intent and what you're trying to do attacking-wise. We see Gabby Shriver taking this free kick from the third zone, and it's going to be dipping.
Ooh.
Kayla Addison used her strength, and it's
going
to come in. Francis, what a save.
Wow. She
what
held that.
A save.
Great save. And to hold on to that one in traffic.
The highlight reel is going to be crazy here for the visiting goalkeeper. Nearly a missed kick there by Nasser.
Good fake by Lemma.
Back to full strength is both sides. Megan Miles going to get over to it. Play it forward to Sija. Goal scorer and starter this evening, Joan Sija. To the feet of Nasser, who's been really impressive on her debut for Detroit City FC this evening.
Seeing tonight, as City grow into the arena game, you're starting to see moves from some of these players that are really savvy, like Megan Miles playing that ball forward and then kind of overlapping and rotating into an offensive position. I feel like the first and second time we watched the City team, we weren't seeing a ton of that. Players were holding their position a little bit more. They're starting to experiment with some of the rotations that you can do offensively, and they're really upping their game.
Detroit City FC, another set-piece opportunity here. Of course, their second goal, the go-ahead, has come from a set-piece, more of a free kick in this situation. We're seeing some deception right there. Megan Miles thought she was going to take it. Katie Coleman's going to have a strike, and I think that took a little bit of a deflection there.
Corner.
And they were going to have another corner. There you go. You didn't even have to explain it that time. You just did it. That's awesome.
That was fun.
I'm sure he's fired up.
Yeah. He does it
not my
better
thing.
than I do.
Out in front, nearly another one. Megan Miles is going to come up. We're going to say there's a foul here. Not really too sure what it is. Looks like it'll be against Detroit City FC. A little bit of confusion there.
Maybe a penalty. It's possible we're going to see a penalty. I don't know which way we're going here.
A penalty the other game. We didn't, but it looks like they're getting ready here to kind of do something crazy.
Maybe
we see it being taken to the spot.
Yeah.
It looks like Nasser's going to.
Based on location, I wondered if we were going to get a true penalty.
We need to see one of those.
Let's see what Detroit City FC can cook up here.
We saw something interesting from the line, so to now see it from the dot is a little bit interesting.
Yeah, and this is a classic set-piece situation here. look for City to have a player in near the goalie, whether it's to screen or to get a rebound.
Looking to get something going here. It's going to be Megan Miles involved in the situation. Going to be left over for Nasser.
Nice.
Laid off to Coleman.
Oh.
Katie Coleman had the effort. And on each of these set pieces, we see Detroit City FC trying something as both players go to ground. Now Katie Coleman with some fancy footwork. She goes to ground. Retained by Nasser. Nasser with the shot blocked away. Back to Coleman. Coleman has an effort. And just so many, half chances there for Detroit City FC. That's kind of the nature of arena soccer.
Yeah. It was very congested in the box, so it makes sense that it's going to hit some people, but a testament to the amount of pressure City are putting on that Louisville are that far backed up, that many players in their own box.
Francis has been great for the visitors this evening. Arguably, Hannah Crumb's been great, but I think in terms of keeping someone in the game, I think Francis has been the catalyst for this visiting team.
For sure.
Effort here, right-footed strike, going to come off the boards. Have to be quick right there, and it was from Lamanali and Gabby Shriver to be on the same page about how to defend that situation.
Yeah, and Lemma was put in a tricky spot there. She ended up kind of chest trapping it down for Gabby to keep in, but when you're a defender facing your own goal and the ball's bouncing around, the last thing you want to do is create a chance for the other team, and Lemma did a really nice job on that one.
A really physical battle there from Nasser. Looks like it's going to go the way of the visitors. Seeing some subs, and you can just tell based on the faces on the bench for both teams. This one's more intense. This one's closer than the first two games we've had this season.
For sure. You're seeing shorter shifts. You're seeing players on the bench really catching their breath because they're going all out, sprinting, hustling, bumping into each other. It's been a very intense physical game, and you're trying to get through it. It's a marathon of sprinting.
Serlino with the
Good
composure
ball.
to get it in. Kayla Addison's going to see this one
She
off
might
of the
be
boards.
in.
Kayla Addison might be in. Two defenders kind of making the angle a little bit difficult for her, but Kayla Addison's going to push through, and it's going to be Francis into the hands. Wow.
I like what Kayla Addison did there. Something that I think we're going to see more and more from her as she plays the indoor game. A little toe poke. Great save, Gabby Shriver.
Kind of gets blocked off a little bit, and that's going to go. The referee is going to give that as a goal. Gabby Shriver's going to have something to say about it. Her argument, she was fouled on the ground just a little bit, found it difficult to get up, but the referee's not hearing it. It's 2-2 here at the Fieldhouse.
Yep. Yeah, I think she felt like she was interfered with a little bit after that first save.
See it again here. It was Louisville was on the break there. Shriver came off her line, initially made a great save, just couldn't really collect it, and then kind of got tangled up, unable to keep in it, and it's 2-2 here at the Fieldhouse.
Yeah, and that's a tough call to make. The way the referees are positioned, I think you've got the one that would have had a good view of it kind of in the opposing half, and the one that was close enough to see it was obstructed by all the traffic in the box. So I think they're not calling it. They just didn't see it, and I understand Gabby's frustration. She felt like she made a save, had a route to the ball, and maybe got pushed off it a bit.
And credit to the officials for having the conversation with her. I don't think we showed it on camera, but the referees and Shriver were able to kind of talk it out, and the referee was able to explain his side of things to her, and I think they came to an understanding. I don't think Gabby Shriver is going to be thrilled with the final outcome regardless, but still I imagine it's good to have that talk and kind of see what they were thinking too.
For sure, and Gabby's the kind of experienced player. She's going to, on to the next play. She's going to, move past it quickly. But, wanted to let them know the way she saw it and expressed her frustrations.
We've said it time and time again, just a shot of the great crowd on hand this evening. The third home game for Detroit City FC's PASL sort of entry this season. The first two massive wins and another crowd on hand tonight. And this is the best game they've been able to see so far because of how close it's been.
For sure. I think as far as quality of play, level of competition, closeness of the game, everyone's getting their money's worth tonight. This has been a fantastic match.
And thank you to everyone tuning in on the YouTube stream. Everyone in the clubhouse, we're looking over at you right now. Just a great crowd, both in the arena and then over in the clubhouse as well, watching, enjoying the Stros, the Cerveza Del Reyes, everything served on top here at the Detroit City Fieldhouse. Yeah, we really appreciate these the support that the team has gotten over the course of the past few weeks. I think everyone's very excited about this new addition to what the club offers, and I know for the women involved, it's been an awesome, fun, exciting way to experience what would normally be a pretty long layoff in the off season. And it kind of sucks that there's only 2 games left after this. Like I'm kind of heartbroken over that. I am too. This has been so fun. I want it to go on a little longer. I guess we got to savor what's left in front of us, but yeah, it goes by quickly. Only a couple more after this. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. Yes. And right now it's still happening. That was deep. Yeah, it was. Well said. Profound. Saw a DCFC legend in the house tonight before kickoff. You were talking about that.
That's right. Tom Oatley was in the house. I actually saw him 2 weeks ago. He's been an awesome supporter of this women's team, an OG, if you will. He was basically the first big recruit in 2012 when we formed a men's team in the NPSL. Tom Oatley had just finished his very impressive career at Western Michigan University, and our first big signing. He gave us a lot of credibility, had a great first season. He set up the first goal in club history. Corner kick that he played into Stefan St. Louis, which I think we referenced at our first game. And it's always great to see Tom. He's remained an outstanding supporter, and we appreciate him.
Really interested to see how Louisville kind of reacts to the goal, you know, equalizing in that fashion and still being in this game, kind of weathering the storm that Detroit City FC was doing with some great saves by Francis. Interested to see how the visitors kind of maybe kick up into another gear to try to get their first lead of the evening.
For sure. I think they've definitely been the team that's defending a little bit more and kind of staying in the game. And yet here they are 2-2. That's going to give them a big boost, and maybe they start to generate a little bit more offensively.
It's going to be Sabo now pressuring as Louisville kind of step in. They look a little bit more confident, a little bit sharper after finding that equalizer.
Yeah, goals change games, just in terms of mentality and the energy. You can see Louisville's gotten a big boost, and City maybe a little bit rattled just to, you know, give up a lead again, and they're not used to being this close this late in the game. But I'm sure they'll respond well also.
Serlino now.
If you're a City player, this is what you've wanted. You know, you've wanted to really be tested and rise to the occasion.
Visitors now playing it forward. It's going to be Shannon McCarthy that cuts that one out. We mentioned, you know, two of the founders involved with this Triumph side have some Champions League experience over in Europe.
Yep.
You want to talk about a player with Champions League experience on DCFC side, look no further than Shannon McCarthy.
That's right. That's right. A few years ago now, but
it's going to be Crum on this occasion. It's funny, you know, she's been winning fouls all night on that occasion. She commits the foul and puts her side down. And, you know, sort of mentally right now where this Detroit City FC team is still in a great spot, still equalized at 2-2, but it definitely doesn't help going down and play for the next 2 minutes.
Yeah, they're going to have to fight through this. You know, in some ways, we compare to hockey every once in a while, and I think this is, you know, you're fighting off a power play. If you can get through it, if you can not concede, sometimes it gives you a boost. But for Louisville, this is a big opportunity to take the lead.
To me, Nasser, that's going to work her way over, and the penalty kill unit goes across, and that one's going to go in. So for the first time, Detroit City FC kind of finds themselves down. It's currently 3-2, sort of a good rally here. You see Shriver and Nasser kind of talking things over, settling things down just a little bit. The penalty, in a way, was killed by Detroit City FC, but now not in the way they wanted, going down a goal.
Right, yeah, they're going to have to come from behind now. A great effort from the Louisville number 8. She's been dangerous all night. I think she may have scored their first goal. We couldn't quite tell. It was on the other end of the field, but really crafty, and she looks to get it on her left foot and has a great shot.
We're honest with you, folks. If we can't see it, we're going to tell you.
Yeah, we're going to be forthcoming.
And that's what you guys should want at home watching. If nothing but forthcoming, nothing but truthfulness coming out of us. Like that one, like the first game, Dave didn't even laugh at a joke out of pity. Like it was just like it went by him like a
I missed it.
barn on the side of the street.
I missed it. I zoned out at the wrong time.
But you're honest about that, which is what I like about you.
You got to own it.
Visitors now playing with some confidence, playing with a little bit more swagger, turn things up just a little bit now that they're ahead here on the road in a hostile environment.
Yep.
Another strike comes in. That was going to go off the head of Romeo. It's going to stay in, not touch the netting. Megan Miles hesitated for a second because maybe she thought it did. Seizure tried to win it there, was engaged in a physical battle, going to go all the way back to Francis, who plays it out wide before it's being taken inside and then played off the boards, eventually back into the feet of the visitors. Amanda Britton doing well to play the press. And this is such a crucial 4.5 minutes for Detroit City FC, getting into the half. You know, hopefully they find an equalizer or go ahead, but right now you're down 1 goal. Don't let it kind of get out of hand. Louisville definitely has the momentum. And in a situation like that where Gabby Shriver can slow things down, that's going to help a lot.
Yep. Yeah, you just kind of got to get through this part in the game. Louisville's done it well twice now. Sometimes you just got to sit in a little bit, absorb some pressure, gain your composure, and you know, keep the faith. And City are doing that well here.
And we kind of talk about it all the time, you know, when teams come to Keyworth, just because of how special the environment is, that it's kind of their cup final in a lot of ways, just to play in front of an environment like that. And I feel like the dynamic is very similar to the PASL environment here, where every team that comes in here, they're going to give you their best shot because of how exciting and electric it is in here.
Yeah.
And they're trying to, you know, get rid of some of that electricity by having a good showing and maybe trying to come out with a win.
It's an interesting dynamic because I think you ask any player, and they love playing a home game for Detroit City FC. You're energized by the crowd. You've got an amazing 12th man in an outdoor game, I guess 7th man here, or woman in this case. And I think as much as that's very true and has an impact, the other team gets a boost as well. And whether it's out of a little bit of nervous energy or a determination to kind of silence the crowd, you tend to get everyone's best shot when you're playing for City. And, I mean, in some ways it probably equals out in the end.
That ball is going to be blasted forward. Kayla Addison, and I will say I think Louisville's done a great job so far of containing Addison and what she can bring to the table. She's kind of been isolated at times. And, again, Zoo City, great tackle there. Right as I mentioned that, I think she wanted to shut me up immediately.
Yeah, I got this,
going to fall to Coleman. Coleman's going to play it off. It's going to go up into the netting. But I think Louisville, aside from that, has done a great job kind of containing her and kind of taking her out of this game in a lot of cases.
They have, and I think they've done it with numbers. Almost every time she's getting it back to goal, they're doubling up. They're getting a second player to help. They recognize the threat that she poses, and they've committed, defensively to double teaming her whenever possible.
Seen a lot of movement here with the first team getting ready to go out on the field at halftime and get the reception they deserve ahead of their third season in the USL Championship. A great job by Lama Nali there in the corner, going to be helped out by Hannah Crum, who's now back into play. Just sort of a tag team right there, and Detroit City FC gets the ball back. They're going to say there was a foul committed. And you can kind of see the frustration growing for this Detroit City FC side, as this is the first time all year their backs have kind of been up against the wall a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, it's a new feeling.
Louisville now going to play it across, going to be squared in. Serlino's going to clear it out, but only as far as Nolly, who looks a little bit worse for wear after taking the ball to the back. Visitors now a right-footed strike comes in, and Nolly.
Great response.
Johnny on the spot to cut that one out, and Kayla Addison's going to look to win a physical battle here. She's going to go down. Kayla Addison's through on goal. Kayla Addison, time and space. Kayla Addison with the toe poke. And a great save yet again by Francis. I can't put into words how important she's been to her side. Any lesser goalkeeper, and Detroit City FC might already be running away with this one.
Yep, well said.
Sabo's going to have that one saved, and Francis really took her time getting up there, but nonetheless trusted her back line, and now the visitors able to clear their zone just a little bit. 2:15 remaining in the half.
That shot from Bella Sabo almost went in off Francis's back. That's a tricky thing for an indoor goalkeeper when you deal with those shots coming off the board. Sometimes they're looking to bounce off you. What a pass.
Great job by Sija, and just cut out the last. The referee's going to blow the whistle here, and this is another situation where from here it looks like a blue card's coming out. Wow. So Detroit City FC, this entire end of this first half, you want to end it strong, here's your opportunity to do it.
Yep. And that was a really thoughtful pass from Joni Sija, inside of the foot, one touch, put it into a very dangerous area, forced Louisville player to commit a foul because they were out of position.
So now we'll see it from the dot. We've seen Detroit City FC get creative here a couple of times when in this situation of, having a chance to do something off the training pitch. But this time, Megan Miles has a clear shot on goal. It's going to be bounced off and deflected. Shannon McCarthy is going to keep it in that final phase of the pitch before playing it back to Miles. Miles going to take a right-footed effort over to find Tatiana Mason. Tatiana Mason now back to Miles, settling things down a little bit before taking a strike. Ball. Didn't really put the foot behind that one, went for placement over power, and nearly it snuck its way through.
Yep, I think she was just kind of flipping that one into the middle, hoping a player would post up. You can see Joni Sejas kind of bumping and grinding in there and trying to find some space for herself.
Back over to Miles. Miles going to lay it off to McCarthy. McCarthy looks to play it across, but it gets bounced up into the air and against the boards and the glass. McCarthy doing well to defend this one. It's going to come all the way back. Going to go to ground, and the referee's going to say that was a foul. And if you're Louisville right now, it gives you a second to kind of slow things down, relax a little bit, and kind of build back up your shape before you get underway. Going to see a timeout from the visitors.
Yep.
And Dave, what a game it's been.
This is amazing.
What a fun game. And they've all been fun.
Yeah.
But you want this. You want this.
Yeah, this is fun in a new way. And, to not really have I feel like both games were – the first two games were largely decided by halftime. You had a pretty good idea that City were going to come out winners. And today it's anyone's game.
And with such a big challenge coming up next time against the Cincinnati Sirens, I think, for those not aware, that national champions on multiple occasions, sort of seen as the top dogs in this league, you kind of need a tune-up game against a really tough, and hopefully you come out with the win, a tight team that can play well before going into that one. kind of unprepared.
Yeah, and I think if you look at, if I understand correctly from what I heard, the Louisville team played Cincinnati a week or two ago. Were up a goal at halftime, ended up falling a little bit short at the end. But, I think this gives Detroit City a very good gauge for, what a team like Cincinnati is going to be able to bring.
And some roster news for the PASL side. Eliza Barron has been added as an assistant coach, so that's
right.
awesome for her. She's been on the bench for the first 3 games, but I think officially kind of brought into that assistant coach role. So really happy for her. And Dave, the captain of the W League side, sort of just always around, always great with the fans and the whole team. Talk about what she kind of brings to the locker room as a leader.
I'm a huge fan of Eliza Barron. She's such a class act, a quality character, great in the locker room, amazing on the field. She's been a real ambassador for the club and for the women's team in particular these past few years. We were so fortunate to get her after she finished her illustrious career at Bowling Green. She's been a player, a captain last season. She was part of the coaching staff, did everything sports performance related, and she continues to do that for our PASL team here, and we'll do it again this summer with the women. Had a pretty significant knee injury. She had to have surgery not long ago, so she's just getting back onto her feet. But it's always so good to see her, and I can't say enough about her. We're very, very blessed to have her as part of this club, and hopefully she'll be involved for many, many years to come.
McCarthy now, space and time, played across into Tatiana Mason. Tatiana Mason lays it off. The shot comes in from Miles, up and deflected. It'll be another corner. There we go.
Thanks. I wanted to
I'll just get to that point where the last word I'm gonna say, and then if you don't zone out.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be with you, and you tee it up, and I'll try and knock it down.
Miles again now, sort of been the crux of a lot of Detroit City FC's attack. The right-footed strike's going to come in, sort of a laces shot, kind of goes up and over, but one more time recycled by Miles. Miles is going to throw it in, and the Louisville strategy here is pretty simple, just be in front of the goal.
Yeah, they are really packing it in, and understandably they're a player down right now, but they're blocking shots well.
Shriver is going to have a shot, and a rebound.
Wow.
On the rebound.
That would have been something. That was something. That's just, the ball didn't end up going in.
I spoke to her after the last game. We saw her have that shot there at the end, and it was similar to that. It was close to going in, and she said, I could have got a little bit closer. She's like, next time I'm going to get closer before I take the shot.
Yeah.
And we nearly saw it pay off right there.
Well, like many goalkeepers, she strikes the ball very well. I feel like goalkeepers are constantly warming each other up with shots and volleys and crosses, and so they tend to have really good shooting technique. You saw that from her there. That ball had all sorts of knuckle and whip and pace on it, and it was really.
Look at those adjectives.
Thank you. I've been watching a lot of Premier League.
Yeah, it's hard not to, and just soak in what they're saying a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just imitating at this point, but I stand behind what I said. I thought that shot had all sorts of action, and it was unfortunate that it didn't stay on target, but she's a threat.
And I think that would have tested the foundation of the Detroit City Fieldhouse if we get a goalkeeper goal here, especially one that would tie things up going into the half. Really good work there by Shriver, and Detroit City FC has 4 seconds here. It's going to be played forward. Siecha might run out of time. The shot comes in. Ooh. Unable to put it wide, and the perspective she had, she might have been seeing the clock, realizing she had to rush it a little bit.
Yep.
Detroit City FC did really well there to end the half, but still find themselves down 3-2.
Yep.
Don't go anywhere. We will come back at the end of this half. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be back in about 15 minutes for the second half of action here. Detroit City FC looking to get the equalizer. Welcome back to the Detroit City Fieldhouse. Detroit City FC currently down by a scoreline of 3-2. I am Jarrett Mackey alongside Dave Dwahey. Dave, you want to talk about a fun, physical, and close first half? Don't look any further than what we just saw right there.
It was awesome. I'm still enjoying it. In retrospect, just thinking back on some of the moments that, the goals, but also the almost goals, some really great creative soccer from both teams, a changing of leads. It's had a little bit of everything, and the table is set for a fantastic second half. I'm excited to see how this one plays out.
A really, just string of impressive saves by Francis, and Detroit City FC maybe feels like they should be ahead, and maybe on game balance they should be. But the reason we play the game on the turf is to see who's able to get ahead, and right now it's the visitors, and all credit to them so far.
Yeah, they've stuck to their game plan. Both times going down, they didn't panic. The first goal, they immediately responded, and the second one took a little longer, but you knew they were hunting for one, and they've got a lead that, for the most part, they've earned. I think City are going to feel like they had a couple that could have gone in, but yeah, credit to Louisville. They've really played a smart game here. I think they have to start the half down a player, so it's an opportunity for City to try and reclaim things, but the halftime break is always a welcome one, especially when you have a lead and you can recharge.
You kind of did a little shout-out in that first half. I'm going to give a quick shout-out. Tyler Marks walking in Lincoln Park, Chicago. Aaron CD as well. So shout-out to them. Tyler Marks lived in L.A., and when we played the NISA opener out there right before COVID and the kind of leap day, February 28, 2020, him, Chris Mills over there doing the lights, they both came out to L.A. away to watch Detroit City FC in their first professional match. So
nice.
Shout-out to them. Aaron CD and Chris Mills doing a great job over there on the lights, as he's done all season for us.
All season. Oh, look at that. The power play already ended. It was just seconds remaining.
Yeah, I believe it went up on the clock with 1:58 left, and then Kayla Addison, a great turn and a great save there by Francis. And
great turn from Addie.
If you're Danny Evans, what would the message have been at halftime?
Well, I think, ultimately, stay the course. It's not like the City have played poorly. In fact, quite the opposite. I thought they played some of their best stuff that we've seen. Ball didn't always find the back of the net, but they're creating chances. I think she's going to I'm sure she reminded them of that and just gave them a little boost, a little pep talk to come out resolved and excited in the second half.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Chris Mills Sr. tuning in. Chris Mills' father watching at Macomb, Michigan, tuning in to tonight's broadcast, making sure his son does a good job on those lights. And so far he's done all right. We'll probably have him back next week, but we'll see about that.
I think so. He's done great.
Nasser with a couple clever step-overs there, looking to play in Addison, unable to do so. Serlino goes for the shot herself, goes off the board. It's going to be Katie Coleman with the effort on the rebound. Falls back to Nasser now. Nasser trying to impose herself in the game. When she's been on the ball and had time, she's looked really good and positive for Detroit City FC, but now it's the visitors who will look to add to their lead. And Detroit City FC, for the first time this season, has a hill to climb in this second half.
Yep. Yeah, Louisville really showing some experience here, the way they're holding on to this lead and defending and making it hard for City to break the line. And, credit to City, they're remaining patient. They just had a nice little setup there in the half court, but Louisville up to it.
Katie Coleman, a great turn there by Coleman. Oh, that might be Sija. Yeah, that's Sija.
Great turn from Joni.
Like we said, once it gets out of that halfway line, we kind of can't. Honestly, it's hard to see.
It's tough.
And I went to the optometrist a couple months ago, so I'm dialed in.
You're good.
You're
good. Yeah. The vision won't be the issue. It's just the distance. It is tough to pick players out sometimes.
Yeah.
I think you're doing a great job.
I appreciate that. Over there by that little guy with the red eyes in the corner, the sickle and the skull. And it kind of always feels like Halloween here at the Detroit City Fieldhouse on PASL game day. So just another great addition there.
Really is. What a save
and that's got to be
Gabby Shriver.
Not to cut you off talking about the sport, but that's got to be threatening for opposition teams coming in here and seeing that first thing. I don't know how you play against that.
I'd steer clear of that corner.
And if you're through on goal and you look over and see that, I don't know how you.
How do you muster a shot?
It's crazy. But that just shows the level of quality here for both teams to be able to put up with something like that.
To get past that. Yeah, it is impressive.
Louisville now has a free kick here, sort of in their own half, but Shannon McCarthy's going to cut it out and play it forward. Siege's now going to lay it off to Hannah Crum. Hannah Crum made a great impact in that first quarter. Kind of was handled a little bit well by Louisville after that, but still making a huge impact here going up against the boards, and goes into the hands of Francis before it could make its way to Sija or Savo in the box.
I've noticed, especially this half, it's standing out to me. I feel like the Louisville players have done, what do we got here?
I don't know.
I don't understand that one.
Francis was a little bit upset by it. You could tell. It looks like there's going to be a free kick here for Detroit City FC. It's tough that you don't understand it because I certainly didn't understand it, and I was hoping you did.
Yeah, well, the ball was out of her hands, and she dribbled it out of the box. I would have thought she would have had unlimited time to release it there, but it almost seemed like it was like a time-based call, like she held it too long, but I'll have to ask the referee later just to get future clarity.
Shannon McCarthy is going to stand over this one as well as Hannah Crum. We've seen a couple of interesting situations. Hannah Crum's going to go for it. The referee's going to blow her off of it. It's going to say on my whistle. He was very particular about that. We just saw it right there. Probably knows he's on stream in front of 200 people.
A lot of eyes watching.
A lot of pressure.
200.
Hoping so. Crum with the right-footed strike had me fooled right there, as well as the Louisville defense. Megan Miles is going to dribble into the area, bounce it off the wall, and get to the other end of it. Plays it across goal. Seja was just unable to get over to it, and McCarthy is going to have it. Corralled underway, but a great job by Louisville playing out of the back and getting things going the other way. It's going to be Crum that comes over to make a crucial reception because otherwise they were through on goal.
Here they go. Here comes City. Good chance.
Sabo now in space, plays it off to Seja. Seja just tried to,
Great
I think,
effort.
play someone in right there, and I don't think she realized how much space and time she was going to have. I think we would have seen a shot there otherwise.
Yeah, she tried to play that extra pass, a little bit of extra, unselfishness. I like that because if it's done, if it connects, you got to tap in, and with a hot goalie, sometimes you want to get that extra pass in to make sure.
Seja now is going to try to play it forward. She had the runs of Tatiana Mason and Sabo. Going to come all the way back to McCarthy, who's going to get it back to Shriver, who herself is a goal threat. We've seen on a couple occasions so far this season. Tatiana Mason nearly got on that one, but Kayla Addison freshly onto the pitch. Kayla Addison, fancy footwork, and the shot comes in. And yet another save by Francis. I sound like a broken record at this point. That's how many great saves the Louisville goalkeeper has made, and total credit to her for keeping her team not only now ahead, but previously in the game when they were kind of up against it.
Yeah, she's been excellent. And she does a nice job cutting the angle. You could see there Addie took a little bit of a touch to the outside, and as that ball was rolling off her foot, the goalkeeper, Francis, took an extra step forward just to make that goal a little narrower and give Addie a little less space to work with.
Serlino, what a great interception that is. Serlino has Addison up with her. Might elect to go in herself. Serlino, she's going so fast, I tripped over my words.
Yeah, she's flying. She's a speedy player. I came to appreciate that when I had the chance to train with the women last weekend. And some of the players were just joking about how fast she is. See, I think it's the extra pass back. Well, on that one, when a goalkeeper plays it out to the back line, I don't think they're allowed to return the ball to her with like a foot pass.
I'm so fortunate to be alongside you here for this one because I wouldn't have known that otherwise. I'd be like, wow, Detroit City FC is getting another free kick here out of nowhere. Yeah.
No, I think that must be that's what the refs seem to be signaling to her. Like you can't get that back.
And the coach is wanting this explained to him for the visitors.
Yep.
It's not like outdoor where the extra time would be added on. The clock is stopped. These conversations can be had. Very similar to the second goal for the visitors where we saw them talk with Gabby Shriver, explain the situation. Communication's good. I feel like the upper levels of the game, they kind of struggle with referee to team to fan communication, but a great display of it right here.
Yeah, for sure. And I do notice, like, when Detroit City FC have the ball in similar situations, when Gabby Shriver has it, she's usually playing that deep ball right away. When she plays a defender, they're looking to get it out of the box right away. I think that's because they're sort of hip to that rule. They've been made aware of it. It seems like Louisville maybe are learning about it now. Or maybe it just hadn't been called in previous games.
So while this is going on, while it's being explained, it's allowing the Detroit City FC players to kind of come up with a plan here. Not that I don't think they needed one because they've done a really good job of managing these situations so far. It hasn't come off, but it's been close to coming off, and we'll see if that time to discuss it and talk it over kind of pays off here. But to that same end, the Louisville defenders were also able to talk about how to defend this upcoming set piece.
Yeah, and you can see they are in good areas.
Mason lays it off to Britton. Back to Mason.
I like that. That's a nice set piece.
Like I said, it fooled me.
Yeah.
A couple of occasions I've been fooled. What does that say about me? I mean, yeah.
I think it just means you're attentive. You're paying attention.
I'm trying to figure it out.
And if you're paying attention on that one, all signs pointed to shot. The Louisville players converged, and it was a clever little back pass.
Making me feel better.
Good.
I
That's
need
the
you
goal.
in my ear when I'm playing like FIFA Pro Clubs or
Yeah.
something like that. I need you to be like, you shouldn't have passed it there. You should have taken
Right.
the shot. Yeah, it made me feel a lot better.
The affirming voice.
Britton now trying to turn a defender, unable to do so. And now Louisville have kind of numbers and space forward. I thought Tatiana Mason was going to cut that one out, but elects to go back. Played all the way forward up top to the visitors. Looks like it's going to be, who's that down there? It's hard to kind of get
Amanda Britton for
Amanda
City.
Britton,
Yep.
yeah. Great job there by Kyle Clayton. That little slow push in on the not too jarring for the folks at home, but a really
That's
good
a professional at work.
job. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's good.
And what a day he's had. I mean, Everton Tottenham draw this morning. Great result for him. Sort of their cup final in a lot of ways. And then out at Wayne State with me this morning for the men's scrimmage against Inter Detroit. And now doing a great job here at the Fieldhouse, getting all these angles for the viewers at home.
The guy's a workhorse.
Best in the business, honestly.
I was going to say shortly before that play ended with the foul. The thing that really stands out to me is a kind of a fundamental difference between
A great tackle there.
great
and
tackle.
Just unable to get back to the feet, but still a great tackle. Go ahead, Dave, with your point.
From Louisville, compared to the first two opponents that City have faced, I think Louisville have a physical element to their game that the City players haven't had to deal with in terms of speed, but also just in terms of like getting in on tackles, giving that extra little effort physically. They're using their hands a little bit more, and just making life a little tougher for City. Even when a City player gets past them, they're kind of holding them up and slowing them down.
Nasser now.
Great
Kayla
pass.
Addison
Wow.
in space. A great
Oh
save
my
by
gosh.
Francis, and on the
Great
rebound
save.
goes up and over.
What
Just a great. We've seen that DNA, that copy happen time and time again. And time again, Francis has been there to answer the call for the visitors.
But I think, if you're City, you keep doing that. That was a great pass from Fatima Nasser to Addy. Great strike by Addy. Just, did nothing wrong. Goalie just made a tremendous save. But I think you do enough of those, you create that enough, it's going to find the back of the net eventually.
And we mentioned that Louisville's kind of been doing a good job of containing Kayla Addison so far. That's kind of a shot across the bow for them as Detroit City FC looks to break forward here through Katie Coleman.
Nice pass. Ooh,
Katie
she got
Coleman
fouled.
tripped
She
up,
got
and the
fouled.
referee's going to see it. I saw him kind of open the front pocket of his shirt. Not sure if it's going to be a blue card situation. Like, you kind of see that? I don't know if he was just
something.
kind of went for the front pocket situation, frocket.
Yep.
As a lot of people refer to it in the industry as. So thought we were going to see a blue card there.
A little portmanteau there.
I don't even know what that is.
Did you have dinner with a spork?
I don't know. I don't know the reference.
Combination of two words.
Oh, okay. I thought that was from a movie or something. I know what a spork is.
Yeah. I think
Hannah
it's-
Crum's going to go
that's
for
right.
it.
I think it's
Required
called
to save.
portmanteau, like brunch, breakfast and lunch.
Really?
You made frocket.
I didn't invent. I would love to have invented frocket. Unfortunately, I didn't. I just am echoing what I've heard. I got a frocket on my shirt.
As far as
Yeah,
I'm
we don't have one
concerned, that's all you.
here. Joni Seger looking to win the physical battle there. Going to be taken out of that one. Signaled over to the bench again, but no blue card on this occasion. We see Danny Evans up and coaching her side, and on balance, the start of the second half, I would tip it in the direction of Detroit City FC. I think they've had the more clear-cut opportunities, but we've been saying that all game, and they find themselves down by a goal.
Yep.
And that's credit to the visitors.
For sure, and great interception from Megan Miles. I was going to give a little bringing that foul back.
Yeah.
Good call. I think there was a foul there, but no, I think that's well said. I think a slight edge to City, but Louisville have done enough to keep them off the board, and not scoring for Louisville but not conceding is a recipe for a win tonight. So they're doing what they need to.
What's a palindrome? Is that word front and backward?
Front and back.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. Race car. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's the one I go to.
That's a great one. I had a friend in high school whose full name was a palindrome.
Really? That's like the guy from Holes, Stanley Yelnats.
Is that a palindrome?
Yeah, Stanley Yelnats, the third.
I love that. Yeah, my friend was Mike Kim.
Wow.
Yep, totally worked.
Was that his fun fact when it came to stuff?
He wasn't. I bragged about it for him a lot. Or my friend, he was kind of a friend of a friend.
And I tried to cut you off, but if anyone at home just jumped and kind of got scared based on what they're seeing on the screen, I think that'll do it right there.
I don't know if I can. I might need to take a break.
I'm trying not to look at it because that was pretty horrifying.
Yeah, that was front and center. Was that Kyle Clayton zooming in like that?
I believe it was.
Wow.
And I bet he was doing it while looking away because the fear that it would put in anyone's eyes, let alone having to look at that through a lens. And, those watching on huge TVs at home, I kind of feel bad that we kind of just did that to you right there.
Me too.
Sort of a
Not
jump
cool.
scare situation.
It's like filming the sun. You probably can't look at it.
You can't look at it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I really appreciate you bringing up palindromes. I was kind of into palindromes.
That's really cool, though, about your friend.
Yeah.
Was that like his fun fact when he would go?
I think so. I mean, yeah, I'm sure. I didn't. He was like more of a friend of a friend. I
Okay.
felt like he was a friend of mine because I, had a few interactions. But it always stuck with me that his full name was a palindrome.
Was it like part of his personality, or was it like you had to know him, and then like was it like, oh, the only thing about him is that his name's a palindrome, or like what was?
I think he was a multi-dimensional guy. Yeah, it was just one of many.
Well, we're all
cool
three-dimensional.
That's true.
That's what they don't tell you. Yeah.
You've said something there.
And he actually laughed that time. Wow, that's awesome.
I think I've gotten better since game one in terms of reading your sense of humor.
And I don't think anyone in the industry can vamp like we've just vamped that entire time out. That was awesome.
That was fun.
Back underway here, Louisville again up 3-2. If you're just joining us now, Detroit City FC went ahead very early on in the match. Louisville did well to equalize. Then Detroit City FC went ahead again. Louisville was able to equalize on a power play situation and then took the lead there in the second quarter. And Detroit City FC chasing the first time they've had to do it all season. And I believe, Dave, if we get into overtime, I believe it's sudden death. So if you want to talk about edge-of-your-seat soccer, as we see Hannah Crum there doing really well to dribble inside, tried to connect with Katie Coleman there, unable to before it's cleared up the other way. It's going to be Claire Cerlino, but Gabby Shriver's off of her line to kind of extinguish the flame just a little bit. It's going to be into a...
Not a
It's
foul.
going to go down, and the referee's going to give it as a
foul.
foul.
Yeah, he's given the foul. Yeah, okay. At first I thought he was saying play on.
Gabby Shriver's going to be picked up by her teammate. She's going to have a couple words, I feel like, to say to the referee there. And good on him for calling that foul, making that decision. Yep. And he kind of had to, or else Louisville was through on goal there.
Yeah.
Definitely was contact, went down. But good job by Shriver to get back up. Good to see that.
You're talking about overtime. I was just about to say, I'm sure there's goals in this game. But, gosh, the way they're playing, it's so tight right now. It's so close. Louisville defensively have putting so many players back behind the ball. It's going to be really tough for City to break through that. And then on the other end, City have done really well defensively when they've been called upon. Gabby Shriver's always up to the task. So it's also like one of those things where I'm wondering, like, how are we going to get a goal? Because right now it's been so close, so tight.
Kayla Addison into some space. Kayla Addison running forward with speed as well. Cut inside. Kayla Addison, another great save by Francis. Visitors not out of the woods yet. Tatiana Mason applying some pressure. Nearly won the ball back there. Excuse me, the referee's going to call it as a foul going the other way for Detroit City FC. And I think that was a physical battle. I think, if anything, Detroit City FC sort of was the antagonist on that, the protagonist on that occasion, excuse me. Whatever the one where you're doing it is.
Yeah.
But the referee gave the free kick the way of DCFC. Megan Miles now working things forward. Shannon McCarthy is going to lay it back off to Miles. Miles is going to boot it forward. Miles assessing the situation, trying to find Mason. Just a little bit of a wayward pass there, but Sabo does well to retain possession. Sabo against the boards now going to... Wow, that...
Ooh. I've had a second to think about it. I think you were right with antagonist because it's rooted in to antagonize, to bother.
I don't know what I would do,
to
Dave.
Provoke.
I don't know what I would do without you, Dave. That's crazy.
I hope I'm not wrong on that.
I honestly think, like, if you tune into this broadcast, you're not just watching a soccer game, you're learning too.
Yeah,
and we're learning.
Yeah,
Tatiana
together.
Mason.
Great pass.
Everyone's learning up here. And Sabo's going to take a right-footed strike, and that one was always rising. Ooh,
a new chance. Look at she
wow.
handled that. Look how she handled that.
Wow.
Are people watching this at home?
People can see it. All season, folks, we've seen the ball get stuck on top of that red bar that you're seeing. This time it sat on the glass, and it was kind of just teetering there. A great job by Francis, not only making saves in the game, but also saving the game by getting that ball down and getting us back underway.
Yeah. Literally giving us a game to watch.
I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah. Foul on Megan Miles there.
Ball being played forward now, back underway here with just 6 minutes remaining in this third quarter. That one's going to be a little bit of a wayward pass. We'll see Tatiana Mason apply the pressure off the boards from Shannon McCarthy. Eventually played through the legs.
We were talking a second ago about, just the idea that City are, kind of getting a little bit more desperate and really pushing for that equalizer. One thing to keep in mind for these players, like, there's still a lot of game left.
Yeah.
And it's really, it's not panic time. They haven't been in this situation before where they're down, but I think there's a lot of game left to play. And hopefully, both teams are recognizing that because, you don't want to lose sight of the big picture.
A little free kick action going on here. Laid off to the right-hand side. It's going to be a really good job defended there in the far corner. Joan Seeger's going to come out better of it. Amanda Britton's applying the pressure.
Nice turn,
a really good
Amanda.
spin from her. She
what
has
a pass.
players forward.
They're going to let it go because she's in.
Nasser's through on goal. A little bit wide. Going to lay it off back to Seeger.
Another foul.
Another foul, yep. And at what point does the accumulation of fouls start to kick in?
Yeah, I think there's a point where you get a 2-minute penalty, right? And that might actually be happening right now. I see the ref got the blue card out.
Really?
And that's certainly not for the nature of that foul. I don't think that was a horrible foul, but I think that's like 5 or 6 or whatever the number is.
It's going to be number 3, yeah. I think on that occasion, since it was the accumulation, they were able to pick who it was. I think there was a little bit of a conversation, and then eventually it's going to be the unlucky one on that occasion was Sarah Naismith, who's going to go into the box here. And Detroit City FC have a player advantage here with 5 minutes left in the quarter, the third quarter. So maybe an opportunity here to equalize and kind of reset the game a little bit.
Yep. We saw when Louisville went a player up, they almost immediately scored. And, it's City got to be feeling, you want to kind of give yourself that same vote of confidence, like, hey, this is a chance for us to get one.
And we talked about in the first 2 games, even though Detroit City FC was up by a lot of goals in those situations, it was really impressive the way they kept battling as if they were down. And I think that experience is going to pay off in a situation like this where you are down against a strong opponent and you need a goal or 2 to kind of get back into things and try to get all 3 points.
For sure, yeah. They've worked on this indirectly. They've worked on finishing games on the front foot and full throttle. Again,
it kind of being explained here to the benches. And the benefit of the clock stopping, you have the opportunities here. We've seen this on a couple of occasions so far this evening. I wish they could it would take way too long for them to come up here and talk to us, but it would be nice.
Yeah.
It would be nice.
Yeah. Is it too much to ask?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Mic them up?
It is.
I'm sure we can mic them up.
Yeah. See the way Louisville's defending this, kind of keeping those 4 players narrow, blocking as much of the path to goal as they can. They're certainly not afraid to block a shot. They've done plenty of it tonight, and when it's squeaked through, your goalkeeper Francis has been up to the task. Great music tonight. I'm
loving it. Yeah. Singh Innovations doing a fantastic job this evening. Shout out to them for their support of this season. Detroit City Distillery, Ally, everyone involved in making this first PASL season a success. And kind of now that we know what it's going to be, we know the success of it, the support behind it, I think people are going to be knocking the door down to support this team next year.
Yeah, I think we're selling out games already, and we've got a lot of momentum here.
About a 2.5 minute, 3 minute, good thing we're so good at vamping because we've had a lot of chances to do it so far.
Yeah.
We've covered palindromes, sports, we got it all.
Yep.
We got it all here.
Yeah.
Nasser gets it, a little bit of a heavy touch from her. Claire Serlino's getting over to it and just up into the netting. A little bit of a missed touch there from Nasser. Sort of kind of took the entire plan out of whack there a little bit. But Detroit City FC is going to look to take advantage of being up.
Wow.
And a great chip over. And I was looking at Shriver there. She was a little nonchalant about that.
She was off her line, yeah.
And I'm just going to believe that she knew it was always wide the whole time.
Yeah, she knew she had a great effort from number 8, who's been extremely dangerous tonight. And that really would have been a sensational goal.
A great kind of a chip there from Amanda Britton. Almost, it was sort of a looping strike that nearly found its way up and over. But back to the visitors, and on other power plays, we've kind of seen them allow Detroit City FC to do the talking. On that occasion, and the visitors get a goal down a player.
Number 8 once again. She's extremely dangerous, crafty dribbler. Got herself a little lane there. Got herself onto her favored left foot, and great finish to the far post.
And I was just mentioning how on other, player down situations, Louisville has sort of let Detroit City FC come at them, and they've been compact in their own box. But on that occasion, they saw they could get numbers forward, went ahead and did it, and now they're rewarded with a 2-goal lead.
Yep.
Detroit City FC now, what are you made of? Looking to come back from a 2-goal disadvantage to be Katie Coleman. That's going to play it across. Looking for Megan Miles. Megan Miles is going to run up and into space there, and Crum's going to do well to get to it. Tried to just toe poke it forward, up back to Coleman, unable to do so, and Shriver's got some recovery work to do. Mia Romeo in some space, looking ahead in front of her. Playing it across, Hannah Crum letting it run through. It's going to fall to Miles. Coleman back in front.
Good ball.
Sort of evaded everyone right there, and it was a good ball. We're going to see sort of contact right here off of the ball. Referee is going to wait to blow the whistle. Eventually does so. There was contact off the ball. This seems
maybe a little bit of like a knocked out of situation for Hannah Crum. It looks like she's,
I hope that's what it is.
I hope so too. She's holding her leg though, so hopefully nothing serious. a tough cookie.
Plays paused here at the Fieldhouse, sort of an impromptu timeout for the sides.
DCFC trainer, W League trainer Chelsea Radigan on the job, helping Hannah out. Looks like she's able to get up on her own. That's a good sign.
That is a really good sign. Yeah, moving a little bit gingerly, just a little bit, but her contribution tonight's been exquisite. Obviously got the first goal, but the work ethic and the desire, not just from her, but the entire Detroit City FC team, despite being down and kind of up against it for the whole match, they've shown great fight and effort so far in this one.
They have, and they've got a worthy opponent here. A lot of credit to Louisville, the way they've they stayed in the game when they were under the gun a bit, and now they've found ways to remain dangerous while being defensively really sound. That's a scary combination if you're Detroit City FC, because now your opponent knows that they don't need to score. They're focused completely on defending, and when they get it on the break, they're almost like, it's like a mentality thing. You're not getting a ton of chances, but when you get them, you're like excited to have them. And City, on the other hand, are trying and trying and trying, and Francis has been up to the task. So it's a hill to get over. You know, if you're City, you're trying to, like, you know, kind of change your mentality a little bit, and if you're Louisville, you're just thriving in this moment because what you're doing is really working.
Detroit City FC going to be receiving the ball back right there. That's good sportsmanship by I believe it was encouraged by the referee on that occasion. But nonetheless, Detroit City FC back underway. Tatiana Mason sort of urging Mia Romeo forward. Time is of the essence here. Right foot strike comes in. A great save again by Francis to keep her side ahead here by 2 as Detroit City FC still on the power play as Megan Miles is going to get things back going. Tatiana Mason out wide. Mason's going to play it into space. Kayla Addison, strength and composure there. Mason's going to keep it alive for her side, and Addison's kind of going to get chopped off right there, but still, and Louisville clears it away as they have every right to do so here. Down a player, up 2 goals.
You can see Tatiana Mason, the gamer in her is coming out. She's wanting the ball a little bit more, demanding it, and she's a player that you want the ball at her feet. She's going to create things. She's going to pick this team apart if you give her enough opportunities.
So Detroit City FC sort of up against it here as we have 3 minutes and 17 seconds remaining in the third quarter. I'm Jarrett Mackey alongside David Dwahey. Dave, I feel like just from the top, explain who you are, your role at DCFC, how you've been here. I think not enough people know about Dave Dwahey, and it kind of annoys me a little bit.
Well, don't be annoyed. I like it that way. But I was fortunate to go to college with Sean Mann, who's sort of the guy that had the idea for DCFC in the first place. And prior to the formation of the club, there was a co-ed recreational league. Games were at Belle Isle. Sean invited me to join his neighborhood club, his neighborhood team. I said yes. I said yes to the right invitation, and it kind of helped me get my foot in the door. And when Sean had the idea with some other partners in Todd Kropp and Alex Wright, we
still are involved day to day.
Everybody, those guys are all full-time with the club, but we all sort of came together and decided to give this thing a shot. And I've had opportunities to play, to coach the women's team, to be involved with soccer operations, and to be on the call.
Kayla Addison poked away.
To be on the call with you, which is among the greatest privileges
Dave.
of all. Well, this could be
Kayla Addison nearly flicked on header there and blushing a little bit. I got rosacea. It's a skin condition. Look it up. Kind of red cheeks all the time. But a little blushing a little bit. That's a great thing for you to say. But yeah, instrumental in that. You didn't mention the fact that you even played for the first team. That's impressive too.
Yeah, I had a rare opportunity to be player owner.
Addison, yet again, and you kept coming back. I believe you even appeared in a playoff game in national semifinal against Midland Odessa in 2017.
I was on the bench. Yeah, it was the highlight of my playing career. I didn't get to step on the field, but it sure was fun to be close to the action.
I was down there. I was like, we need Dave Dwahey on for a penalty. We need Dave Dwahey on for a penalty.
That would have gone horribly wrong.
Serlino now in some space. Serlino in the strike, and that's going to go in.
That's in.
That's a big goal for Detroit City FC. Everyone celebrating, getting together. Claire Serlino, if there was any player that deserved that one, it'll be Claire Serlino, who was able to get the shot. It kind of went off. Francis there. We kind of saw it in the first half a little bit. You mentioned it too, I believe. It kind of could go off the wall, kind of hit you in the back. We saw it from Francis there.
Yep.
She's going to feel hard done by that one.
Yeah, it's a tough bounce, but you create your own luck. I think Claire took a really smart. She kind of noticed that gap opened for her on the left flank, and she took that touch into a dangerous area. Great strike. Good things happen, and I think for City they maybe needed a little bit of a ball to bounce their way, and it happened there. And let's see how they how they build off that, and let's see how Louisville responds.
Louisville now breaking the way forward, and nearly just a miscommunication at the back there. We've seen them reply to goals so well throughout the course of the match. All three of them, they're right back at it, ready to go. Nasser's going to beat her defender there. It's going to fall to Joan Seeger. Just if the better touch there would have had the shot on, nonetheless keeps it alive. Megan Miles now running into some space, plays it off the board, trying to find Nasser. Poked in front here. Seeger's going to be on the turn, unable to get anything going. Plays it across to Sabo, back to Seeger.
We're seeing Fatima Nasser playing that target position. She's been really good on the ball tonight, holding players off. Great turn there.
Great spin right there from Nasser. You mentioned it on that occasion. Lama Nali calling for it, offering her a little bit of an out right there, and Nali's going to do a great job stepping that one over. A little bit of a physical battle right there. It's going to stay with Detroit City FC. All the way back to Miles in front of Shriver, the only defender back so far. Nali goes back to Joyner. Right in front of goal from Nasser there. Sort of a different profile to a Kayla Addison up top on that occasion.
Yeah, whereas a player like Kayla, I think, relies a little more on her strength and ability to post up. Fatima's posting up very well, but I think she's maybe looking to get the ball at her feet, create things on the dribble. She's good in tight spaces.
And that was almost a more methodical approach from Detroit City FC that we've seen, so far for the evening right there. Just allowing the play, not making anything happen too fast, slowing things down a little bit, and it nearly came off. But now the nature of arena soccer, the visitors are already through. And a great job there by Shriver to just get it out of the area, settle things down a little bit, and kind of have a chance to build from the back yet again.
Just somehow it just hit me in that moment, watching the crowd react to that, to Gabby Shriver clearing that ball. Like, this is an exciting game. This could be either team's game. It's been back and forth. We've seen some really nice goals and a lot of good chances both ways. This is really what City have wanted, a tight game against a very worthy opponent.
And we'll say it again. I mean, the way that this team was born, it was, women's outdoor players from the summertime that wanted to be involved with Detroit City FC for a longer period of time. A lot of them were already playing the indoor game, sort of in their own different realms, and they were like, it'd be sick to do it with Detroit City FC, and they were right about it.
Yeah, for sure. They had a vision, and it's neat to see it come to fruition.
Referee's going to say that's the end of the quarter, so we're going to go into the fourth quarter with the score at Detroit City FC 3, Louisville 4. Don't go anywhere. An exciting 15 minutes is coming right up as Detroit City FC looks to remain perfect. And go. We are back here at the Detroit City Fieldhouse. Strap in, folks. It's a really, really tight game here. Only 14 and a half minutes remaining. The fourth quarter of action live from the Detroit City Fieldhouse. And Dave, as a player, broadcaster, and fans, you want it to be this close here at the Fieldhouse.
Oh, yeah. I think everybody benefits from the game being like this. A couple weeks ago, we were in a situation here going into the fourth quarter where it was sort of a foregone conclusion who was going to win. And
a great ball forward by the visitors, just sort of an errant touch is going to take it a little bit wide. Shannon McCarthy's doing well defensive work, and Claire Serlino, the most recent goal scorer, is looking to win the ball back for her side, and a great job to win the ball back. And that one's going to be tipped over at the last possible second by Shriver. A great save from her to keep her side in this one.
Yeah, I think this is good for everyone. This is what it's all about. We got to, I don't know, do I say corner the special way when it's a opponent's corner?
I don't think so. I think
I'll
that would go against the tradition of it being celebratory and a little bit happy.
Glad we talked that through.
Had to. That one's going to be poked along. Shannon McCarthy, a really brave attempt to go for that one is Hannah Crum. Good to see her back on the field based on what we saw when she went off last time with a slight, a knock, we could call it. A great job to see her back out there, and she's going to let that one come off of the boards before attacking it. Tried to just kind of stamp at it and get it across, unable to do so. It's going to come all the way back out and going to ground. A great job by her, the tenacity of that to try to win that ball.
Yep.
Proof positive how close this one is.
Good touch, too. Yeah, Hannah Crum is taking her game to another level here. Getting a sub now because she was just working so hard. But she's definitely been a bright spot for City tonight, and wouldn't be surprised if she still finds a way to score before this thing ends.
And in situations like this, that's when you want and you need your big players. Everyone's on this team is important, but you need these players to step up and make the difference to try to get the equalizer before you can start thinking about working towards going for that win.
Yep. Yeah, when the game's tight like this, I think, the tendency is to play a little tight and to maybe not take risks. You don't want to make the mistake that's going to either put it out of reach for the other team or you don't want to make mistakes, and yet you need some players that have the confidence to take a risk, to go one-on-one, to try and open something up. Whether it works or not, you want those players like Hannah who have the ability to unlock the other team's defense and to take chances to do so.
There's certainly a tension in the air at the Fieldhouse. It's going to be Nasser on the turn, unable to retain possession. Goes well to go to ground as Megan Miles is going to step into it. Megan Miles has the shot just a little bit wide. Good job there by Nasser. Every time I feel like she's been on the ball, it's been something positive, or you've seen the idea there.
That's a bit harsh. I mean, she stepped in on the spot.
Going to get a blue card for it.
Blue card. Interesting.
The referee's going to explain it to her. I think he's just going to say, try to get a little bit too much there. I saw that as a physical battle that kind of just, it's not illegal to be stronger than somebody,
right,
but on that case, it might have been.
Yeah, and I thought from my view, he was right there. But I think from my view, I think she's maybe a little upset. I think she won the spot. She kind of stepped in, but maybe the nature of it, or maybe there was an arm that flailed. Referee had a good angle on it. We'll give him
and good job by the Louisville player to kind of sell that if she felt like she needed to and win her side a crucial power play on that occasion, because Detroit City FC kind of looked dangerous here, and the visitors come through. Great save by Shriver, not out of the woods yet. Mia Romeo's going to ground early. I think that pressure there kind of put things off a little bit. I will say, and the Detroit City FC Instagram account got a fun DM from W League team legend Sydney Bloomquist saying heckle number 8 for me for the visitors. So
she knows number 8.
I had to sneak that in there somehow.
That makes sense, because number 8 is quality, and if Sid Bloomquist is referencing a player, they likely played together, and that player is likely a baller.
One of the best goals I've ever seen in Detroit City FC was Sydney Bloomquist's free kick against AFC Ann Arbor. You kind of watch the highlights of that back, and it's funny because in one of the shots, the keeper is just running, and then she runs out of frame. That's how top bins it was.
Yeah, that was a treat for all of us. I had a particularly good view of that one. I was right behind it and just saw the way that ball, it kind of moved in three dimensions. It was dipping, it was curving, and it found the top corner. And a crucial goal. It extended the lead for our first win of the season. First home win of the season. And
I was going to say, I had my sports information director hat on right there. I was in Cleveland for that 2-0 win. That was the first win of the season, your career as the Detroit City FC head coach.
Right.
So won't forget that one anytime soon. But definitely the first home win's always special.
For sure. And Sid was, that wasn't her only free kick goal of the season. She scored a beauty at Midwest United, and she was just so dangerous in general. But on set pieces, she was a gifted free kick taker.
A really strong stand here for Detroit City FC defensively. Not really out of the woods yet. Still a player down, but so far this team's holding tough with the back line.
Yep,
Louisville trying to take advantage of really powerful effort, and that's a great save by Shriver.
Massive save.
It's not only a great save, you mentioned massive. That's huge from Shriver to keep her side in this, kind of take some more seconds off the clock. And I see it, Nasser's itching to get back out here and come back to full strength.
Yep. Yeah, that's a big penalty kill. I'm not sure if it's over just yet.
It's not over yet. No, there is a little bit of a line change here for Detroit City FC, but still a player down. Look to build out of the back, and all these ticks off the clock are super valuable as we see Amanda Britton kind of played through on goal here.
And got Fatima
and we got Fatima. I don't think Brandon Britton knew that, but it comes off the boards and nearly goes up, and it'll be a corner.
Corner!
For Detroit City FC. We got to work on sort of
Actually, it isn't. Oh. But hey, I really enjoyed saying that.
We both saw the referee point, though.
Mm-hmm.
We both, like, I think they even saw that on the stream. The referee pointed to what looked like a corner. Maybe he was pointing to it got in the netting, but regardless, we both thought it was a corner.
That was fun while it lasted. Still a good area
for City. It's still fun.
Yeah.
It's still fun.
I don't regret saying it.
What I find really interesting is every time there's been a set-piece situation, it looks like it's been Megan Miles sort of at the crux of things every single time.
Yeah, I think, as a coach, you want an experienced player on the ball, whether she hits it or not, just kind of directing traffic, making the decision on what direction you're going to go with it. And
Nasser comes on and commits another foul. I don't think that was any malicious intent on that occasion. I think it was just sort of things got a little bit crammed up in a traffic jam right there, but she's going to make her way over to the bench. Kayla Addison's going to check back in, so it's going to be Addison, Seja, Britton, Miles, Nolly, I believe, and, of course, Shriver between the posts as Louisville look to hang on to a 1-goal lead here with just 10.5 minutes remaining in this final quarter. Kayla Addison nearly, and Dave, there's a bit of tension in the air at the Fieldhouse this evening.
Yeah, it's tight in here, and I think it's 10 minutes to go. It's still very much. And
we see another back pass thing again. Wow, that's the 4th or 5th occasion that's happened.
Louisville still adjusting to that rule.
And they get frustrated every time, I think rightfully so. I feel like it's more the goalie getting frustrated. We'll see a shot come in. The referee's going to say.
A little too quick.
Which Detroit City FC is not going to have any problems with.
No.
It didn't work out.
It was like a little dress rehearsal.
Yeah, so if they can get that one back, that's big.
Yeah.
But I think it's more the goalkeeper playing it to the center back and then not wanting it back and then getting it back every time.
Yeah. It's definitely that second pass. The second time it gets to the goalie, it's a problem. I had a chance to look up. Number 8 for Louisville is Erin Yenny. So Sid Bloomquist's giving the shout out to her friend and likely former teammate.
Seja! Oh!
Good save.
From up here, it looked like that one was in.
Yeah. Oh, another foul here probably. Yeah. The tackles are flying in. I mean, both teams really not wanting to give an inch. Megan Miles there a little bit. I don't think it was late, but maybe just a little awkward with the contact, and the ref was right on top of it.
Detroit City FC here, you kind of dig into everything you got, both, on the field, skill-wise, and also mentally. You have less than 10 minutes to score a goal to get the equalizer. Then you can start thinking about going for the win. Oh, wow, that was nearly a fun little interchange play there. But Shriver's going to try to get Kayla Addison involved. A great header, but Kayla Addison follows through with it and tried to just sort of shift and make her way through there. I kind of did like a movement there. No one saw it. Luckily.
Yeah, I saw that.
I appreciate that. That shot by Seja was so close a couple minutes ago. Seconds feel like hours here in this game. But just so close, and that was sort of the best opportunity we've seen Detroit City FC from a set-piece opportunity.
Yep.
As Britton's coming over to defend the far side, as Seja's going to put some pressure on. A little bit of a fake out right there. It's going to come across.
Save.
Shriver, a great save because she would have seen that one a little bit late.
Mm-hmm. You're starting to see Louisville do a little bit more of what City were doing well in the first quarter, second quarter, and they're continuing to. But Louisville, more so than before, are establishing a little bit of like a half-court offense here, getting the ball in City's final fourth and keeping it a little bit, working it side to side, being patient.
City stretched here just a little bit. I think Shriver was trying to find Nasser, but the turf monster ate her up on that occasion.
Yeah, it happens.
Louisville looking really composed here in Detroit City FC's final fourth of the field. Marshaled all the way back to the midfield before being played back inside and all the way back to Francis, who's done an incredible job keeping her side in the game and in situations where they've needed her, they've relied on her all night long.
Her distribution's been very good as well. The passes she's put. See, I like what City did there. I mean, you obviously don't want to give up the foul, but to double that ball for Katie Coleman to notice that Fatima Nasser was holding the player up, to double team in those situations. I think one key to the arena game is to take advantage of opportunities to double team, win the ball, and go the other way. And Oh boy.
Shriver trying to get at it there. That one wasn't
Crazy.
seen by anybody, just a little bit of a mix-up in the box. But Nasser's going to have some players to play forward. Finds Katie Coleman.
City.
Katie Coleman has Shannon McCarthy up with her.
Oh,
Coleman's
sorry.
going to go for the shot herself.
I like that.
I like the effort of that there. It was a good job by Coleman. She had McCarthy up with her, but you know, I wonder if that was an Addison or a Sabo, the pass would have came through. But regardless, a really good job there by Detroit City FC, and a good battle there by Serlino. Just misses out on this occasion.
Save.
Great job by Shriver to
Massive
get down
save.
to it early. And you'll kind of see the pace from Detroit City FC pick up a little bit. They'll become a little bit more open at the back as they push bodies forward to get an equalizer. The referee's going to call that occasion for Detroit City FC. And it was funny, Nasser looked at the ref there for a second like, you better call that one if you've called the ones against me. Yeah.
And I think it was a foul. Louisville continuing to do a nice job just kind of making life difficult. Whether they get called for the foul or not, they're committing and really making the extra effort defensively to slow City down.
And we'll see a timeout here, just 7:33 remaining in this game. Danny Evans coaching her side. What do you think her message is going to be to her squad as it's put up or shut up here in this occasion?
Yeah, this is kind of the final stretch. They might have another timeout, one or both teams, but I think this is a last opportunity to kind of talk things through, remind them that although it's winding down, there's still plenty of time. You don't need the goal right now. We just need to kind of get into a good groove, and it'll take care of itself. And to just stay patient. I think City have played their best soccer when they're finding that extra pass, when they're playing with a little bit of like a methodical approach, and they got to settle back into that. Louisville have actually been the team that have maybe done it a little bit more recently, and I think Danny Evans is probably encouraging her team. Let's keep the ball and let's make them chase us a little bit.
What a moment. I mean, this is the moment we want to be in as watchers, and we're fans, as broadcasters, as fans on crowd, and as players too, right? Like, you want to live for these moments where you're able to step up and be the one that makes the difference in such a high-intensity situation. And I can't think of something that would better prepare for Detroit City FC for what's going to be a tough contest next time out against Cincinnati.
Oh, for sure. This is such a great, I mean, obviously this is the game we're in right now is the one they want to win, but this is a great rehearsal for another worthy opponent coming in the form of Cincinnati. You really can't prepare for a game like that completely, but this is the next best thing to play a team that's gone toe-to-toe with Cincinnati. We're in a tricky spot right now, and this is just invaluable in terms of experience and being able to deal with the situation that you want to prepare for.
And this is only going to sharpen the blade for these Detroit City FC players who might be relatively new to the indoor game, new to the physicality of it and the speed of it. The outdoor game is incredibly physical, but in its own right. And being in these tight moments in the indoor arena can definitely help as you prepare for a juggernaut like Cincinnati to come in here.
For sure.
And if you haven't bought your tickets to that game yet, you got to do it now.
You should really.
We sold out on
right now.
Friday.
Yeah, they're going fast.
The sold out graphic was made by our incredible graphic designer Devontae Kennedy yesterday.
Yeah.
That's
early.
Yeah.
It was known early.
That's earliest sellout in DCFC history.
Yep.
Hannah Crum now back into the field of play, being played forward. Shriver's going to be off her line. A little bit tricky since it's not going to go into the area. Not able to put hands on it, but a really good job to muscle her way out of that one and play it forward to Coleman. But Coleman unable to keep possession. Crum, look at that battle in the midfield. She's been a warrior tonight. Hannah
She's
Crum
been excellent. She's been excellent, and she's only growing more and more into the game.
Kayla Addison, if she looks up, she has Shannon McCarthy up with her. A really good job there by Kayla Addison, putting an arm out to beat the defender there. And McCarthy's going to have time before playing it over to Miles. Miles has played a key role in tonight's match for Detroit City FC. Played across in Katie Coleman. Ooh. Kayla Addison tried to throw something back at it. Going to go to ground. The referee is going to walk in there, I think, to just say, everyone got the ball. Everyone get up. Let's get this back underway.
Keep this going. If I can manufacture a segue, you mentioned Devontae Kennedy, a valued employee of the club. Speaking of employees past and present, I just got a little message of encouragement from Martha Ridgway.
Oh, wow. Watching at home.
Who expressed her appreciation for the broadcast. Thank you, Martha. We miss you and send you our very best wishes from here in Detroit. Martha's gone on to great things in the Seattle area.
And if Detroit City FC can kind of get out a win here, I mean, she woke up, Aston Villa 5-0 over Sheffield United, a shellacking for her side this morning, and she'll be hoping for more of the same this evening out of Detroit City FC.
Yeah, wouldn't it be great if we could help bookend the day for her?
6-point day.
Yeah, great ball in from Gabby Shriver.
Mia Romeo went to ground there. The referee's going to play the advantage a little bit here, going to put his arms back down. I thought he was going to do the YMCA, bust out in that.
Ooh, here comes Fatima. This is promising.
Nasser going to have some time to check up a little bit. Time to find Tatiana Mason. But back to Nasser. Nasser's going to have a shot. Francis equal to the charge. And Nasser's still in front of goal, just a little bit going to ground, and another rebound before being cleared away.
That's so exciting.
Still on it here. Bella Sabo is going to play it forward, just cut out at the last possible second. Mia Romeo keeps things alive for the time being, but Sabo just losing out there in a physical battle, but encouraging signs for Detroit City FC. Nasser now playing it back. Romeo eventually gets to her feet, sort of a fake pass there before assessing the option. Sees Tatiana Mason, never a bad option in the midfield.
Here's what City are wanting to do. You know, I think they're wanting to establish a little bit of possession here, show some patience, work it for a good shot, put Louisville on their heels, and ideally you're putting Louisville in a situation here where even if they win the ball, they're going to be too fatigued or too.
Gabby Shriver goes for it, and it requires a save. I don't know if she was going to shoot that, but the crowd, I heard multiple shoot it.
Yeah.
She went for it. It wasn't a bad option. She's going to make herself available yet again. Saw a suggestion in the chat that maybe, you know, Detroit City FC pushing late might go for that sixth attacker like we see in hockey.
Yep.
I don't know if you really need that when Gabby Shriver can step up and do that.
Right on, yeah. I think she's a great
Shriver
great
again. It's looping up. Referee's going to say that's a goal kick, but if that's an option, go for it.
Yeah.
It's two chances, three really the last 2 weeks where Gabby Shriver's had the opportunity there, has stepped up, put her foot through it, and it doesn't get much closer than that, folks. It really doesn't.
And I think it's a different look for Francis. You know, most of the shots she's dealing with are point blank, or they're at least close enough that she's able to cut off the angle. When Gabby's launching these balls, it's what a save.
And then, yeah, she'll do that. She'll have a great shot down the other end, and then she'll come up with a huge save like that. Took out Serlino in the process, going to make sure her teammates are all right as Detroit City FC looking to get something going down the other end. I believe that's Sija down there in the corner. Good job to stay in the fight on that occasion. Serlino's going to kind of limp off here, a worrying sign for Detroit City FC. She's going to just jump over into the penalty box to just get off the field and allow a teammate to come in. Megan Miles sprinting at full speed to get over there.
Great recovery run for Megan Miles.
Referee's going to signal about the line.
Oh, is he?
A blue card's coming out. Not
for what?
I'm not sure.
Maybe
to make it interesting. It definitely will.
Yeah,
it'll help out with that.
I wonder if it's like a too many players on the field, like a substitution that went a little.
And what the danger is, people are looking at us to kind of tell them what happened there on that occasion, but we
don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
I think it's important to acknowledge when you just don't know what's going on.
Like I said, we're honest.
Yeah. If nothing else, we're like.
And again, we've seen it again where the referee's going to explain it to the coach. I think the coach is kind of demanding an explanation just because, Dave, it's pizza time again.
Oh, there's pizza?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen any dropped off right here, but it is pizza time yet again after the game. So that's big for us. It was great. It's Chef Jack.
Oh,
the
best.
You won't find a better chef.
The best.
In the USL Championship, in the PASL, or in the W League. And Chef Jack, UPSL, into the mix. So Miles out wide to Romeo. Detroit City FC able to play with a little bit of confidence here. But Louisville's last goal came when they were a player down.
That's
so
right.
DCFC is going to be wary of that. That one's going to come into the area, eventually cleared away, but Romeo is still going to be up for the challenge. Romeo and Addison now going to battle for it. That one's going to be called against Detroit City FC. Good job there by the visiting Louisville player to kind of put their body in front of it and draw that foul.
And they've done that well all night, you know, defensively and otherwise. I think just in terms of the body position they're taking, getting into balls, making it tough. When Detroit City's attacking, they're really good at stepping into lanes. When situations like that emerge where it's in the corner and it's like a 50-50, they're just good at kind of scrapping and fighting and you know, getting calls or clearing ball. They want it. They're playing with a lot of fight.
And you could say that for both teams. I think Detroit City FC is doing a really good job knowing when to try to win fouls, knowing when to kind of be aggressive and toe that line a little bit. On some occasions it's worked, some it's not. But still, you know, here's the situation. You got 3 minutes and 41 seconds to get an equalizer. You're going to be up a player for more than half of that time. It's now or never for them.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity for City. They know it, and yet so does Louisville. And Louisville's going to make sure that they're extra defensive and that they keep their shape and clear the ball at all costs. And it's a tough prospect to attack against when you know the other team's happy just to get a piece of it.
And mentally, a goal either side is going to do two different things. If it's Louisville, you kind of look at things and it's a 2-goal deficit with 3:41 remaining. If you get one for Detroit City FC, it's anyone's guess as to what happens in the final, however much time there's left in the match.
Yeah, the momentum could really shift with a goal for City. And like you said, 5-3 is pretty daunting if Louisville can find a way to score. And You know, they've done so well defensively. It'd be hard to imagine City getting 2 goals with the amount of time left. But if they score, then all of a sudden you got the confidence to go for another one.
The shots in the both ends looking great. I will kind of toot my own horn here a little bit. I did Windex the glass on both sides in front of the cameras, so I'm really proud with the way that worked out. So
talk about players having an impact. I mean, what you
Romeo coming in. I know, yeah.
Your impact on the broadcast is.
Oh, Kayla Addison nearly tried to get a foot in there. Kayla Addison does well to try to just stay in the physical fight right there. It's going to be fall to McCarthy. McCarthy's going to play it out in front. McCarthy back to Addison. Addison's kind of running just through a group of people. And Shriver, so far off of her goal line, has the freedom to do so because of the way Louisville's defending this penalty kill here.
Yeah, and you can see Gabby Shriver's already almost experimenting a little bit with that 6th attacker idea, and she's just kind of trying to envelop things so that when it pops out, the ball can get played back in quick. Ooh,
Nasser
nice
forces another save out of Francis, but from a difficult angle, so kind of expect her to make that one. Gabby Shriver's going to go for the effort. It's going to come in. Nearly tucked home there by Katie Coleman, but yet Mia Romeo is going to keep things alive. All the way across, nearly back in front of goal, but Francis had things covered at the near post.
Good tackle from Katie Coleman.
Romeo, the advantage, I thought was played there for a second, but it could have been for the visitors. It's just going to be cleared out there, and Shannon McCarthy's going to make sure that we don't see a repeat of what happened last time. McCarthy does really well to hold off the defender and get it back to Shriver. Shriver looking forward, realizing how much time's left. You know, less than 2.5 minutes. It's go time for Detroit City FC. Romeo stepping up into things. McCarthy now sort of forced out wide, back into the area. It's Nasser on the top of the box. Nasser just step over, and Romeo takes the shot. Another great save by Francis, but the penalty kill here.
5th player, yeah.
And that's going to go the way. Ooh, I thought that took a touch off of Louisville last, but nonetheless, it'll stay with the visitors. And you mentioned you got to be careful, and that's sort of the risk-reward of arena soccer. I don't think Shriver knew that player was coming out of the penalty box.
Yeah, you can really kind of sneak up on a team, and you get lulled into a false sense of security because you have the extra player, and then all of a sudden you don't.
She was probably taking softer steps there as to not make too much noise on the way up to Shriver.
Yeah,
and just sort of a physical battle right there. And Detroit City FC comes out of it thanks to Lama Nali, who's going to look at her options going forward. Kayla Addison looks like she's alone in the area. Kayla Addison back to goal. Nearly got a flick on header there. And I mentioned it in the first half, but Louisville doing a great job of sort of isolating Kayla Addison and keeping her at bay and kind of limiting what she's so good at here and been so good at through the first 2 weeks of the season. But nonetheless, you see the quality she has, both pressing the ball and winning it back. Going to be Lama Nali here and a great slide tackle there, and it needed to be only 70 seconds remaining in this one for Detroit City FC to get a point.
This is exciting.
Miles across. Really to nobody. We see a quick line change here. Serlino's back onto the field, and referee's going to say that one was legal.
Foul.
Crum was back to it. Hannah Crum's been battling all night, and now Louisville have the space to break forward here. Only 50 seconds remaining, and outdoor you kind of see players take it to the corner. We'll see what the equivalent of that is here, but Megan Miles says no to that, shuts that down, and Katie Coleman looking the other way. I think Sabo tried to almost sneak in there, unable to do so, but yet Detroit City FC still pressing hard. Sabo nearly tried to win it back there. It's going to be Nasser who's going to press from the front. Only 30 seconds remain in tonight's contest. Louisville doing well to hold on to the possession, not giving Detroit City FC an opportunity to kind of get something going here late. Less than 25 seconds remain. The clock continues to tick. It's Detroit City FC's worst enemy right now. Megan Miles looking to win the ball back for her side, and nearly, that nearly got us up here.
Yeah,
and that's going to stop the clock, though.
Yeah, that's helpful because I was going to say Louisville seeing this thing out really with a lot of experience. And
Shriver just, you respect, just Shriver's got to get that one off of her foot or hand on that occasion. Louisville's going to see this one out. 5 seconds remaining. It's going to be all 3 points for the visitors on this occasion. And it really was a great showing by the visitors. You know, both teams just battled so hard throughout the course of the match. It was competitive, it was physical, it was tight. And in the end, you know, it's these little moments that really make the biggest difference in arena soccer. And on this occasion, the visitors have a happy ride home back down to Louisville.
They sure do, and they deserve it. I mean, it was a great battle. Both teams played extremely well tonight. I think Louisville, you know, took advantage of their opportunities, and City created plenty. It just wasn't their night, and they came up against a hot goalkeeper. But a really enjoyable match to watch. End-to-end action, great chances, great creative soccer, great defense, great goalkeeping. Just, you know, can't say enough about the level that we were privileged to watch here.
And, you know, a really great job by Francis. We talked about it throughout the entire course of the game. Just a really impressive job by the visiting Louisville goalkeeper. Really did a great job settling things down, making the save when she needed to. And, you know, the visiting team celebrating, and they've earned it. They really have this evening here at the Detroit City Fieldhouse.
Yep, got to give them a lot of credit. They came in a tall order to come in here and get a win, and they found a way. And oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, and when you're in situations like this is only going to make Detroit City FC stronger.
Yep.
The message from Danny Evans to her side can be, we hung with an incredible arena soccer team that has experience at the highest levels of this sport, and they were in it the entire game. There wasn't a moment where you could look at it and say Detroit City FC struggling, they're not competing, they're not battling. Battled all night long, and just on this occasion fell just a little bit short. And a great sign here from the visiting team, just, you know, showing some respect.
The crowd.
Showing some respect for the atmosphere that was held on hand this evening, and a great job from them.
For sure, and I think you said it really well, Mackie. I think for City, this is a great opportunity. You know, a tough loss this early in the season can be a great, you know, kind of moment of crystallization where all of a sudden, from this point forward, you look back in that game and say, we don't want to feel this way again. We don't want to experience the disappointment of a loss. They had a wonderful start to the season, a little setback tonight, and it's great motivation to be even stronger the next one, and they're going to need to because they're playing a very, very strong opponent.
And the next one coming up against Cincinnati, coming here to the Detroit City Fieldhouse. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into this contest. I've been Jarrett Mackey alongside David Dwayhe. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll catch you in the next one. Have a great night.
Good night, everybody.